in a time of 52.92, a new high school national record. Back to back to back to back state champions. NET Sports, Nebraska's home for championship sports, is live from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska for the 2015 NSAA High School Football Championships. We conclude our 2 days of action here on NET Sports with the Class A title game. The Millard West Wildcats at 12-0 taking on the Millard North Mustangs at 10-2. And good evening, everybody. I'm Larry Putney, along with former Husker Damon Benning. It's good to have you with us. As we said, this is the final game of 6 state championships right here on NET Sports, a battle of the Millards. They're moving it away from Buell Stadium down here to Memorial Stadium as Millard West takes on Millard North in a rematch of a game that was played earlier this year and won by Millard West. And Millard West is a good-looking team at 12-0.
Yeah, they're outstanding. And unfortunately, I know it all too well. We saw them twice this year. And I think the score of that first game was a little misleading. There was about a 6-7 minute span in that game where it got away from Millard North. And as well coached as Millard West is, it compounded the problem. They're led by an all-everything quarterback in Logan Anderjaska. Now, for what he does in this offense, no disrespect to Jaden Kowalski or Ethan Morrison. We'll see him on the other side. For my money, Logan Anderjaska is the best quarterback in the state. They get in that 20 personnel, no tight end, 2 back, 3 wide receivers, and he does it all. They can veer you. They can trap you. They got outside zone. You'll watch him deal out on the perimeter. He's good in the option game, and he can throw it just well enough. He's got guys out there like Shea Wyatt that are really good at what they do, but Anderjaska is the guy that makes him go. He's as good as I've seen in a long time, and he's sneaky fast.
How's Millard North stop it?
Well, they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to play a lot of man-to-man, and they'll play downhill. The reason that I think Millard North can stay in this football game is they're very good up front, both on the offensive and defensive lines, and they'll challenge Millard West, and they'll make them play fast. Now, the best matchup of the night might be off the field. It's offensive coordinator Seth Turman versus defensive coordinator Mark Chavez.
Should be a good one. Third member of our broadcast crew, another former Husker to my right here, is Blake Lawrence. And Blake, let's talk about Millard North and an outstanding quarterback they have.
Yeah, that'd be quarterback Ethan Morrison. He's a 5'10" quarterback, senior quarterback, and he's leading this Millard North offense, which has got a little bit of a different look and feel this year. Petito's going to a spread offense, and that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, not just in the running game, but in the passing game. He's got over 1,200 yards passing on the year, 14 touchdowns there, and he's efficient. He's going to complete 66% of his passes, only 4 interceptions on the year, and he's almost got 750 yards rushing on the year. So Ethan Morrison is doing a great job of managing this Millard North offense, and I think Petito's got to be proud of what his quarterback's doing.
Covering things down in the field for us is Sean Callahan. Let's go down to Sean.
Guys, to say this matchup between these two programs has been even the last few years would be an understatement. Since Kirk Peterson has gotten to Millard West, Millard North and Millard West have played a total of 16 times. That series is knotted up 8 apiece. So you know these teams have gone back and forth the last several years, and it really has brewed into one of the better rivalries we've seen in the last 10 years in Class A football.
All right, thanks very much, Sean. Should be a good one. Millard West, Millard North, a couple of teams that know each other very well. Want to remind you, you can watch NET Sports anytime, anywhere. All you have to do is download the free NET Nebraska app, and it is a sharp app. Go check this one out. You can watch college player profiles, full-length episodes of Big Red Wrap-Up starring Blake Lawrence, live web streams. There's so much more. Search for NET Nebraska in the App Store or download free at netnebraska.org/apps. So we have had a busy couple of days here on NET, a total of 5 state champions already crowned, getting ready to crown the 6th and final champion here in Class A. Let's take a look at what's happened to date. We began yesterday morning, 10:30 a.m. right here on NET Class D1, a terrific matchup between Bruning, Davenport, Shickley, and Burwell. Bruning, Davenport, Shickley in black. Burwell, the Longhorns, scoring the touchdown there. BDS led this 22-0 at the half. Burwell came back, came within a touchdown in the 4th quarter, but BDS added the touchdown to win it. The final was 44-30. That's a look at the Class D1. Now to D2. This was the 2nd game yesterday in the afternoon. St. Francis and Chambers Wheeler Central. St. Francis came back from a 20-6 deficit in the third quarter. And get this, they scored 16 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. This was a terrific game, back and forth, won in the end by Humphrey St. Francis. The final was 22-20. The two-point conversion was good in the fourth quarter to give them that two-point win. Class B, this was last night right here on NAT. It was Elkhorn South taking on Aurora. Rallying from a 21-6 being down did Elkhorn South late in the first half, and you see a big run here. It put Aurora on top. Looked like Aurora would have no trouble, but back came Elkhorn South late, and it was the Storm with the victory, 32-21. This morning in Class C1, Battle of Columbus SCOTUS taking on Norfolk Catholic. Norfolk Catholic likely came in the favorite. It looked like they were going to live up to that billing. Terrific run and catch for the touchdown here, but Columbus SCOTUS took the early lead at 13-0. Norfolk Catholic came back, took a lead, and held that lead for about 30 seconds. Because Columbus SCOTUS scored at the end of the first half and went on to win this. And Columbus SCOTUS won the state championship. Then our afternoon game played just not too long ago right here at Memorial Stadium in Class C2. It was Aquinas taking on a very game team from Oakland Craig. Oakland Craig team came in with an outstanding offensive attack. Very, very spread offense, but 3 interceptions for Aquinas in the game, and Aquinas was just too tough to handle. Terrific carry here. But Aquinas winning the state championship in Class C2. So here are the results. This is what we have to date. It's been a long couple of days here. Bruning, Davenport, Shickley winning it. Humphrey St. Francis, Elkhorn South, SCOTUS over Norfolk Catholic, and Aquinas wins it 36-7. Let's go down to the field for the coin toss of this Class A state championship. Millard West obviously in green, Millard North in blue. There's our referee, Randy Schnackenberg, introducing the two teams. So listen in.
Is our line judge. Again, congratulations on making it to the state final. You're our visitors.
So Millard North wins the toss. They have elected to defer to the second half. Millard West will receive likely. And now Millard North decides which goal to defend. So they will defend the goal to the south and put their backs to the goal to the south. And so let's go down to Sean Callahan. Did you get that right?
Yeah, guys, Millard North won the toss. They've deferred, and they will defend the south end zone. But these two teams very calm in the coin toss. These guys know each other obviously very well. Lots of hugs, handshakes, smiles, no trash talk. Because these guys, obviously, I think a lot of them are friends and probably grew up right around each other in the same area. So it should be a fun game to watch it play out here on the field.
So this is for the Class A state championship. It'll be Millard North taking on Millard West. And before we begin here, let's take a look back at last year's Class A state championship.
It was the Calvin Strong show for the second straight year in the Class A state championship as the Omaha North Vikings took on the Creighton Prep Junior Jays. After North's offense started the game slow, its defense gave them the jolt that would spark Strong, who had long runs of 45 and 76 yards. The Vikings defense would continue to make Creighton Prep's night miserable, holding the Junior Jays to just 128 total yards of offense, led by the play of Jason Martin and Cole Bixler.
Taken at the 50-yard line. Here's Vaughn. Markel Vaughn's got room along the far side.
Omaha North's special teams would also deliver on a 49-yard punt return And Omaha North would finish the Class A playoffs with a record 193 total points and win a second straight Class A state championship for the Vikings. I want to remind you, a good time to connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. Add a comment, catch up on the latest Nebraska sports. Be sure to like NAT Sports, and while you're at it, you might as well like Big Red Wrap-Up as well and join in our conversation on Facebook and Twitter. Damon, that bring back any memories?
That team right there was arguably the best team that I've seen in the last 20 years. I know I might lack objectivity, but what we did versus the opponents that we saw, I think, speaks for itself. That team belongs in the discussion for that year, that team, of one of the top teams of all time.
Damon, what's it take to get a team prepared to play in Memorial Stadium, and what's it like in the locker room right now? What's the conversation on the sidelines? How do you approach the state championship game?
Well, I tell you what, you want to keep it as much as part of your routine as possible, sans the road trip. You don't really get into the environment. You don't really talk about the magnitude of the moment. You talk about doing what you do that got you here. And with both these staffs, there's plenty of experience. These guys are not unfamiliar with playing in this stadium on this stage. And so I think this one is about execution, right? It's not so much about the pregame speech. There's so much familiarity with calling out each other's offensive plays, knowing the blocking schemes, beating guys to the punch. This one will be about individual matchups and execution.
Thinking about individual matchups, you talked about Andrew Jaska at quarterback, but what about that running back Luke Wallen? What kind of game does he have and bring to Millard West?
I tell you what, Millard North has one of those on the other side, the sneaky X factor. It's Lallman from Millard West, a long strider and tremendous speed. He'll get out there on the edge, and you will not catch him. He is a guy that prefers to run on the outside more than the inside, but they've got the inside part of that offensive philosophy handled with the fullback, that deer and trap game.
So I want to remind you just quickly, the Class A state championship coming up here on NAT Sports with the condensed schedule that the NSAA has put together here at Memorial Stadium, with the previous game going just a bit long. We had to start that clock immediately following the last game. So kickoff will happen here in about 11 minutes at Memorial Stadium. So we're filling time here, waiting for both of the teams to come out of the locker room, be introduced, and then get ready for play here at Memorial Stadium. So good opportunity for us to take a look at the schedules of both teams and talk about how they got to this point in the year. Millard West 12-0 overall, knocking off, you see, first game of the season. It was a tough one against your Vikings of Omaha North, Damon, a 21-19 game, but very different in the semifinal leading into here, 42-10.
I tell you what, they're a team. You want to get an option-oriented team early in the season. That's when we got Millard West, right? We got on them early, 13-0, but they continued to keep playing. What you'll see tonight, it's a senior-laden, it's an older bunch, a big physical bunch. They weren't rattled at all by being the defending state champions. They weren't rattled at all about being down 13-0. They sent us a message loud and clear in the semifinals, beating us 42-10.
And after that 21-19 game, their next closest game was against Norfolk at 13-3.
Yeah, we studied that film a lot about the philosophy and kind of the approach, and took some things from that game. But no disrespect to Norfolk, but that wasn't Millard West's best night as an executioning football team.
Damon, you got to see this team. Well, I guess we could take a look at Millard North, but going at Millard West, you're thinking, you saw in the first game of the year and the 12th game of the year, they improved a lot during that time, right?
Yeah, and you know what, as a staff, I'll be honest, we told ourselves that's the best that they'll be. And unfortunately, they got better.
Wow. So here's a look there at the Mustangs season record. A couple of losses. They lost to Millard West handily, 42-7 when they played earlier this year. Then lost to Bellevue West 35-28, but avenged that loss in a terrific game. It doesn't indicate it here, but that semifinal win, the last game on the schedule there, 35-34 in overtime. Petito goes for the deuce and wins it.
Yeah, gutsy call. They had the field goal, the extra point unit out. He calls timeout, brings everybody to the sidelines. And not only did he go for two, they ran a reverse to get the two. He was gonna win or go home on that night.
That's what you typically do, is run a reverse on the 3-yard line. Now time for the introductions. Let's go to our public address announcer.
Class A contest between the Millard West Wildcats and the Millard North Mustangs. And now for the introduction of the players and the coaches. We begin with the Wildcats of Millard West. Number 4, Zachary Sorich. Number 7, Preston Humphrey. Number 8, Derek Hitz. Number 10, Logan Anderjaska. Number 11, Luke Lohlman. Number 13, Jay Wyatt. Number 14, Christopher Russell. Number 15, Sammy Scharf. Number 18, Tyler Bandera. Number 20, Joshua Wallace. Number 27, Cody Jenke. Number 28, Jacob Richardson. Number 32, Quinn Brummer. Number 34, Nathan Razika. Number 51, Zachary Wint. Number 54, Warren Punt. Number 56, Alexander Dukart. Number 58, Tanner Kalb. Number 62, Matthew Danielson. Number 64, Jack Domandel. Number 70, Elijah Zuhal. Number 77, Riley Williams. The head coach for Millard West, Kurt Peterson. And the rest of the Wildcats and coaches.
Oh, really?
That's his personal.
Yeah.
So there they are, the Millard West Wildcats and head coach Kurt Peterson getting set to take on their Millard rivals, the Millard North Mustangs. There is Coach Peterson in his 13th year at Millard West, 21st year overall. Played at UNO. Here's a look at the comparison between the two teams. Points allowed, the big difference here. In the Millard West, a bit more stout on defense. Other than that, it very similar in terms of comparison between the two teams. Now time to introduce you to the Mustangs of Millard North. And for that, we go back to our public address announcer. Here's Rich Broderson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the introduction of the players and coach for Millard North High School. Number 1, Dylan Price. Number 2, Aaron Gertis. Number 3, Jack Bingley. Number 6, Tad Spiker. Number 8, Kristen Toms. Number 9, Brody Buck. Number 11, Andrew Klein. Number 13, Ethan Morrison. Number 16, Matt Reed. Number 21, Adrian Kellogg. Number 25, Tate Moyer. Number 30, Nick Engel. Number 33, Jacob Matthew. Number 56, Cody Ritterbush. Number 58, Joshua Reel. Number 66, Daniel Jan. Number 68, Justin Pedersen. Number 71, Mason Bogaz. Number 76, Ethan Butler. Number 79, Corey Casper. Number 80, Jake Lena. And number 99, Brady Dobler. And the head coach for Millard North, Fred Petito. And the rest of the Mustangs and coaches.
We got a couple of teams ready to go here for a state championship in Class A. This should be a good one, guys. Fred Petito, the head coach of the Millard North Mustangs. He's been there forever, and he's been here plenty of times.
Tell you what,
32 seasons for Fred Petito.
if there's anybody that knows how to give a pregame speech, it is both of these guys. If you go just by body language, Millard North appears to be the much looser of the two football teams. The talking, the high-fiving, the energy. Millard West appears to be more business as usual. We'll see which one reigns supreme.
We always like to show you where these teams come from. This is not a difficult one. Millard North, Millard West. Buell Stadium, the home for both of those teams. They get to come down here and play at Memorial Stadium. This is how they got here. Millard North pounded Central 37-0 and then slipped by Bellevue West in overtime. You heard the two-point conversion and the call, and they got here. Fred Petito calls that one of his most satisfying moments as a head coach. Millard West beat Papillion La Vista South and Omaha North to get here. Let's go back to Rich Broderson.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise as we honor a great nation. This evening to sing our national anthem, please welcome the Lincoln Pius High School Mixed Octet under the director of Mr. Todd Cryer.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That'll get you ready. High school football on NAT, the Class A state championship, coming your way when we come back from Memorial Stadium.
Methodist. That's the meaning of care.
When you've been around for more than a century, you understand the power of generations, the value of nurturing and developing those who will carry on the legacy of agriculture and food production. That's why the Aurora Cooperative helps young people gain the experience, expertise, and wisdom to feed the world, be good stewards, become responsible community leaders, and continue setting the example for the generations that follow. The Aurora Cooperative, growing opportunities.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself. The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
On the next Big Red Wrap-Up, we'll wrap up the bye week and look to Iowa with co-host Sean Callahan. Big Red Wrap-Up at a special time Wednesday at 9 Central on NET.
51 degrees, great temps for a November football game. Clear skies, southeast wind at about 10 miles an hour. Ready for football here at Memorial Stadium. Your officials, we introduced you to Schnackenberg earlier. Bob Coco is the umpire, linesman Ken Holmes, Aaron Adams the line judge, back judge Russell Gray, red hat Rick Stromer. Let's play football here. Class A state championship on the line, the couple of Millard schools. Millard will kick it away to Millard West. The Mustangs won the toss. They have deferred. It'll be kicked away by Matt Reed. Back deep for the Wildcats. Lallman and Wyatt. That'll be taken at about the 20-yard line. Brought back by Wyatt. He's got some room. Stiff arm Wyatt. Near sideline. It's a foot race and Wyatt dragged down, but not until he gets into Mustang territory. Great start for the Wildcats.
Right away, that opens up the ability for a trick play right off the bat. Coach Turman not afraid.
Here are your impact players, guys.
Yeah, Shea Wyatt, you can see there why he is an impact player. No matter where he's at on the field, returning kicks, catching the ball, he even gets involved in the run game. Look for him at the wide receiver spot.
Yeah, Millard North's got Jack Begley, the most underappreciated DB in the Metro. Very good at his craft. Watch him patrol the airwaves.
Logan Anderjaska is the quarterback for Millard West. We talked about him off the top. Keeps it himself. Anderjaska up the middle. Gain of about 5 or 6 on first down on the keep. Pulled it out of the belly of Wallman and kept.
What you'll see right away with Anderjaska, especially for those that haven't seen him before, you'll wonder how he does it. He's very smart, and he gets to top end speed in a hurry. He's faster than he appears.
On the
second down and 4.
On the defensive side of the ball, watch Adrian Kellogg. You can see him on offense, but the linebacker spot from Millard North made a good play on the first defensive stop from Millard North.
Pitches it out, drops the ball. It's loose, still on the ground. Millard North recovers the football.
Right away, you see that the pitch low and away, uncharacteristic. Now, reports early coming out of practice where Millard West was a little sloppy with the football. Maybe it's carried over. An early break for the Mustangs.
Jack Begley recovers it from that free safety spot. We've got one here early. The quick turnover. Millard North gets it back.
NET Sports in the Game, winning America's top awards for sports journalism, event coverage, and original documentaries. The NET Sports team chronicles Nebraska's epic events and sports stories. NET Sports is Nebraska's home for sports.
With the odds stacked against them, a team puts everything on the line on the biggest stage in collegiate volleyball history.
We're not going to get this done if we do it individually.
They just believed. They knew somehow they would find a way.
As they win the 2006 National Championship.
Saturday afternoon at 5 Central on NET.
Back at Memorial Stadium, impact players for Millard North offensively.
Take a look at Adrian Kellogg. He's my X factor. I almost went with Wine out on the perimeter as a receiver, but Kellogg gives them the edge dimension that Matthew doesn't.
And then Quinn Brummer on the other side. He's not a tall linebacker, but he gets the job done. 87 tackles on the year, a couple of fumble recoveries. So Millard West is going to be following Quinn Brummer as a leader.
Jake Matthew, the fullback, right behind the quarterback Morris, who's in the game. The give is to Matthew. Matthew just puts those shoulder pads down and drives forward a gain of about 4.
He's a difference maker. Another reason why that score was misleading the first time around is they were without a healthy Jake Matthew. He is healthy tonight and coming off an outstanding performance against Bellevue West. You talk about carrying the nail. Matthew was the man.
Some of you tuning in right now, 7 o'clock on Tuesday night, you know what that means. Big Red Wrap-Up. Well, we have Blake Lawrence here, but we're going to move Big Red Wrap-Up to tomorrow night after the volleyball game, after Illinois-Nebraska, due to the state high school football championships right here on NET. Second down, carry of another 4 makes it 3rd down and 1 for the Mustangs.
For those of you at home wondering why Millard North gets the high handoff up around the breastplate, it's so you cannot take the football improperly. You are forced to have a good pocket with it up on your breastplate. Coach Petito coaches that specifically. It's not an illusion.
3rd down, and we'll call it less than 1. Morrison pushes forward. He has enough for the 1st down. Good push by the guys up front. That'll be a 1st down to about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, Ethan Morrison, he's relied on the run game in a lot of different ways, and sometimes you got to get the sneak. He's got 171 carries on the year, and I bet a few of them are just getting those 3rd and shorts, which is common for Petito's offense, just getting 3 yards at a time and getting downfield.
Yeah, and you know what? He's kind of like, he's a lot like Sade. He's a smooth operator. He sneaks up on you. You don't really see him coming, but he's the guy that pushes a lot of buttons.
That's an 80s reference right there. Holy cow.
I missed it.
It's like Sade. Morrison with the carry, push back. I got to listen close to DB.
I forgot Blake was just a pup.
Yeah,
Sade, see, that was in my high school days. He used to sing a song called Smooth Operator.
Hey, watch Derek hits on the hit.
Yeah, and I tell you what, they're so gap sound defensively, Millard West. We tried a couple of ways to move the football on them. Tried power, tried to spread them out, tried to throw it. Real discipline up front.
2nd down and 9. The handoff to Matthew. He leans forward for a gain of about 4. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Let's go down to the field to Sean Callahan.
Guys, huddle, a company based right here in Lincoln, has forever changed the game of film, and they've added another wrinkle to it. I'm standing over here on the Millard West sideline, and we're looking over the coach of one defensive coaches here, and he's got an iPad where he's able to capture the snap here of Millard North's offense, and then when his defense comes back, he can show those clips and plays to his guys on the sidelines. It's really, really changed kind of what you can do during a game, during a timeout here on the sidelines.
They go for it on 3rd down. Don't quite get it. That's going to bring up a 4th down. It's their new product. It's called Technique. It is sweet. Any coach can use it. Love it. Huddle does a nice job here at Lincoln.
The Huddle does a phenomenal job of helping coaches win, helping players win. The technology they bring to the sidelines is phenomenal and great product in Nebraska, and I think that's going to help improve the game of these teams tonight and for years to come.
Now here we go, 4th down and less than 2. Millard North will go for it. Morrison under center. The toss back. On the edge, Kellogg's got the 1st down. Kellogg's got more room inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line on the carry by Kellogg.
Right on cue. What I said about Kellogg as the X factor is he makes that edge soft. When he gets out there on the perimeter, this is just individual effort. This is well defense by Millard West, just missing tackles and not adjusting to the speed of one Adrian Kellogg.
In the downfield block, Aaron Gerds turned around. I was looking a little lost there. I think he could have got one more block and sprung Kellogg, but the flag might push him back here.
We have a late push out of bounds. It might be a personal foul.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the defense. Half the distance to a goal. 1st down.
You saw it late here. Watch again. Kellogg goes out of bounds and then a late push. So he's clearly out there, and here comes.
Yeah, that's Zorich. Sorich, I'm sorry. Tough football player, hustling. He plays defensive end for them. Plays in that anchor spot.
So that'll get the ball down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for the Mustangs. Off of the turnover for Millard West. Millard North has an opportunity here to strike first. The toss. Andrew Wine inside the 5 down to about the 4 on the carry for the 190-pound 6'2 junior.
Zachary Wendt doing a good job of causing some disruption in the backfield. Millard West is going to rely on him. He's a defensive lineman. He's not above 6 foot, but he's above 220 pounds, so big force, and he can run as well, so Millard North better find a way to block him.
2nd and goal from the 4. The give is to Matthew. He bowls near the end zone. Did not quite get there. He's going to be marked down just shy at about, what is that, guys? The 1 foot line?
Yeah, there are Shetlands, there are Clydesdales, and then there's Matthew. He's a real thoroughbred. I'm telling you, when this guy squares up one-on-one on defenders. He's almost impossible to bring down. He's chiseled, doesn't give you much to hit, even as a big body back there.
Watch for Matthew again here. The sneak by Morrison looked like he was in there. No signal yet. Touchdown, Morrison. Millard North strikes first.
Millard North taking that turnover, just a bobbled pitch by Millard West and turn it into a 4th down conversion. A 1-yard sneak. You see here Morrison, a little push by Matthew on the backside, but that's all you need. Get down to the 6-inch line and give it to your quarterback.
Color me a little surprised. You know, I'm a big body language guy, and I told you before the game started, I'm watching both teams. Millard North, energetic, loosey-goosey, all over the place. Millard West appeared to be businesslike. Maybe that businesslike demeanor was maybe more tight, uncharacteristic, missing tackles and putting it on the ground.
Extra point is through, and the Mustangs have a 7-0 lead, and I would agree right now it's the Mustangs playing with a bit more emotion.
And it's not even close. And sometimes, you know, you mistake activity for achievement, right? Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're being productive. And
don't tell my boss, please.
So you don't know until you see it out there on the field. But it looks like Millard North, from an emotional standpoint, is on a higher level right now, at least early in this football game.
There's Ethan Morrison. He gets the short runs, you know, and I like that out of a high school quarterback. You know, when you get those spots, give it to the bearded man.
I tell you, he's looked like that since I've known him. I've been coming out of the 8th grade, and I remember Coach Petito told me, he says, I think I got one.
Oh, boy.
And he was talking about Morrison, first 1,000-yard passer in Millard North history.
When they got a beard coming into high school.
Yeah, I've been trying to grow. This is my worst Joe Buck impersonation I got going, right? I mean, I thought it was just me that had that summer beard, you know, some hairs over here, some over there. Early start, impressive start for Millard North. Remember, they only scored 7 points in the first meeting against these two football teams.
So off of the turnover, Millard North takes advantage, and now it will be Matt Reed kicking deep again. Back deep for the Wildcats. Shea Wyatt, Luke Lallman. Squig kick goes to the up man. It'll be taken to the 35-yard line, out to about the 41, 42-yard line. But once again, good field position here for the Wildcats. Returned by Garrett McGahan. Check that. Is the up man on
Christopher
Russell? It was Russell, yep.
It's got to be Thomas Russell's little brother. Outstanding running back at Millard West a year ago with the jackhammer feet. He can pick him up and put him down.
So second possession here coming up for the Wildcats. 12-0 on the season, down 7-0 here in quarter number 1. Logan Anderjaska back out there at quarterback. In motion goes Wyatt. Anderjaska will keep it himself. Not much there. A short gain will bring up 2nd down and long for the Wildcats.
This is a great job by the linebacker, Brody Buck, just staying put. He's playing that zone option, the zone read option, and puts a lot of pressure on that linebacker to stay there, read the quarterback, make a good form tackle in the hole.
He's the CBR guy. He's got cutback, boot, and reverse. He's in that honey hole. Slow to go, right? Play away, don't cross opposite A.
Dawson Samler, the fullback in the backfield, in a pistol. They give it to, nope, check that. Kept it himself, did Anderjaska, and Anderjaska out near midfield. A gain of about 4. We'll call it 3rd down and 6 upcoming.
You might as well stay with the music theme, right? Do you remember the Beastie Boys? Yeah, he's crafty, right? I mean, Anderjaska is a little bit of a magician with the football. Faked our camera crew out.
I think he got Larry, too.
On the Beastie Boys reference?
No, I think on the fake.
This is that personnel. It is a tough look.
3rd down and 5. Anderjaska rolls to his right, looks downfield, fires near sideline. It was caught, pulled in. What a grab. Preston Humphrey pulls it in right along the sideline.
If you guys remember what I said about him when he was coming out of the tunnel during the introduction, I said that's a good offensive player right there. He's a sneaky weapon. Doesn't get a lot of the headlines, but he makes plays like this. How about the toe touch?
Woo. That is.
Give me all 2 of those.
That is a SC top 10.
That is da-na-na, na-na-na.
Nice work, Preston.
Humphrey gives them the first down, so ball now at the 36-yard line.
Isolation out here with Wyatt.
Into the backfield, pounds through there, still on his feet. Lallman, good spinning move and a gain of about 7 yards. Bring up third down and short.
He's got to be able to do that to keep Millard North honest. I mean, he's used to getting out on the edges and getting the baton and going for 60, but when he can run it hard and downhill in between the tackles, you see him get skinny in the hole.
Yeah, he does get a little skinny. He's 6'1", 165, but the guy's averaging 7 yards a carry on the year.
Yeah, he can hide behind the stop sign, but he can go. Don't let him get out in space.
Humphrey, Russell, Lallman to the left. Give it into the middle. Very near a first down to about the 27. I'll bring up third down and short for the Wildcats.
Pretty impressed with the discipline thus far. Millard North defensively got in a little bit of trouble. A lot of guys tried to make other guys plays in the first matchup. Pretty undisciplined. Seem to have tightened that up this time around. Do your job as a coach. That's what you want to tell your players. Individuals thinking collectively.
Third and short. Anderjaska keeps it himself and just follows the big bodies up front. That's enough for a first down right behind his center and a left guard for about 3 or 4 and a first.
Yeah, Matthew Danielson clearing the path there. Tanner Cobb. These guys, they know how to block. This is a team that opens up a lot of holes, and throughout the year, I mean, they're averaging on the ground almost 300 yards a game, and that is all due to the big men up front. Not enough credit given to these guys, but I think at the end of the day, Andrew Jask is going to say thank you very much for opening up for me and the running backs.
I know Domandel gets a lot of the headlines for Millard West, but Zuhai is a player as well.
Whistle blown before the snap. Yeah, Domandel at 6'4", 280, the senior center for the Wildcats. There's a reason he gets a lot of the pub. Let's hear the call.
Dead ball. Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
I tell you what, man, and you're talking about Domandel on his way to South Dakota State, arguably their best offensive lineman, and Jake Matthew also going to South Dakota State. So far, the two Division I players both going to the Rabbits.
That's right, down to the field to Sean.
Yeah, you mentioned Domandel. He's been a center his entire life. Very rarely do you see a guy in 7th, 8th grade, all the way through 12th grade, the best lineman on a team, stick at that position. But he said, you know what, I want to get good at this position. It's going to give me a better chance to possibly go on to the next level.
Inside screen caught. Still on his feet is Wyatt inside the 10-yard line. And Shea Wyatt with another big gain.
And I believe uncharacteristic missed tackle, I believe, from Begley. He saw it. He's coming downhill. But that's what Wyatt does. Begley saw it, missed the tackle. But Wyatt, allegedly, now this is dangerous. He's supposed to be a better basketball player than he is a football player. He's been quite the get for Millard West as he moved back from Colorado.
Give to Lallman. Moves forward in the middle, down to about the 6-yard line. Second down and goal from there.
You know, Millard West going with that screenplay, which is not something that you see at the high school level that much. This just shows the discipline that this team has and what Peterson's done. And they can do what they need to get the ball downfield. Now, Millard North was in position on defense. He's going to make those tackles.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about Millard West that you have to understand, and I know Millard North does, there's multiple ways they can beat you. They'll give you a ton of looks on offense.
Second down and goal. Right into the belly of Sandler. Nothing doing there. Good play up front. Dobler was there along with Josh Reel. There's a look at Reel. Bring up third down.
Look at how gap sound Millard North is. Somebody for dive, someone for cue, someone for pitch. Real good discipline early on. Going with the pink tape instead of the white. Traditional tape around the buckles.
All right, now from the 8, third down and goal to go. Under pressure, nowhere to go. Rolls out of there, still on his feet, looks to the end zone, tosses late. Oh, incomplete. Boy, what a great job by Andrew Jaska to keep that play alive.
I told you, he's crafty.
Yeah, he is. You know, he puts that ball in a great position for Russell to catch it. How does he get out of this right here?
He's bigger than you think when you get up close to him, and he's faster than you think. Much better athlete than he's given credit for. Dangerous ball. Could have been a pick. Now, a similar situation happened in the first meeting. Millard North doesn't get a catch that they should have in the end zone. Millard West immediately capitalizes and scores on the other end, and then the snowball effect started.
Tristan Tom's credit for tipping that ball away. Here's Conrad Sandoz. Field goal, no good. And so Millard West drives down the field and turned away for the second time in a row by the Mustang defense.
Access denied. Good goal line defense. Tom's caught himself, almost had a pick, forced the field goal attempt, and there's no chip shots out here. Good kicking game for Millard West, though. I can attest to that.
Yeah, they've got a kicker, Conrad Sandoz, the seniors. He's only missed a couple of PATs in the year, but on the field goal game, it's 1 for 5, and that would make it 1 for 6. He's an accurate kicker, and they're close enough to get it. And sometimes you look back, and that's a stadium you don't see behind the field goal.
Yeah, high school uprights, that's probably good.
Yep.
It's a lot. You know, he's missing 6. What is it? 6 feet, Larry?
3 on each side. I don't think they take it away from one side.
Well, I think that's 6 total, isn't it?
There you go.
Gee, man, Christmas, tough crowd.
There you go.
3 feet on each side, he says.
Yeah.
Regular Einstein over there.
Try to keep you honest.
He did tell me collectively he and I could reach a 4.4 GPA. After a comment like that, I must be the majority of that 4.4.
I told you I can cover 2.4.
No Math Tuesday.
2nd down and 7 for the Mustangs. The keep by Morrison. Gain of about 3. That'll bring up 3rd down for the Mustangs.
I believe they were 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions on their first drive. A down in which they're familiar with. You watch Morrison deal here. Decisive on the perimeter.
That's a good job of Blake Menden, number 40 from Millard West. Getting the feet of Morrison. He's quick. Carries the ball a little wide there for a quarterback, but Menden, number 40. Any guy that's Blake and number 40, I am a fan of.
Yeah, you're partial to that, aren't you?
Morrison will keep, follows his blocker into the hole, has the 1st down. Out to the 35-yard line on the carry by Ethan Morrison. Morrison this year threw for 1,200 yards, but we've seen a lot of ground game here early.
Yes, that's subtle too. They can come with veer, they can keep, they can deliver on the perimeter with the option, and they can go with midline. That's their counter when that 3 technique starts playing games with them. It's almost like quarterback follow me. It's tough to handle.
Inside a minute to go, 1st quarter here in the Class A State Championship. The toss to Andrew Wine. Wine out to the 40. That's a gain of 5 on 1st down. Will bring up 2nd down and 5 as the clock ticks inside 30 seconds.
Andrew Wine's one of those guys on the Millard North Mustangs that has over 400 yards rushing on the year. They got a handful of them across the board. He also can catch the ball as well, so finding different ways to get him involved, and 5 yards in this first carry.
Likely the last play of the 1st quarter. Ball on the ground, picked up, thrown out there, and incomplete to Kellogg. Forward pass, incomplete.
Conceptually, that play is hard to handle. You take a look at the conflict. It puts the flat defender on, right? Do you come play it? And he can swing it out. He's had several big plays this year on that.
Big 1st quarter for the Mustangs of Millard North. They get the turnover, and it leads to the touchdown. Kellogg driving them down close.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Everyone's walking a path, and most paths are best walked together. Because when we travel together, our lives are livelier, our journey more enjoyable, and the places we'll discover will be simply spectacular. to be in a place like no other that unites you all in a state of wonder. Wouldn't that be nice?
Coverage of the 2015 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by the Nebraska Soybean Board, the Nebraska Public Power District, Education Quest, the Nebraska Tourism Commission, the Aurora Cooperative, and by Constellation. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. Good crowd on hand tonight at Memorial Stadium for the Class A title game. One quarter in the books, Millard North on top 7-zip. Let's go down to the field to Sean Callahan.
Guys, when you get two Omaha teams here for a rematch game, you never know what the crowd is going to be like, but I can tell you right now, the atmosphere on field level is electric. The student body turnout for both sides is about as good as I can remember for a Class A game, and they are making an impact down here as far as crowd noise, so it's good to see this type of turnout here for both schools.
Early on, it's a pivotal stop right here for Millard West. They need to capture some momentum. Looks like Millard North right now is playing downhill.
Morrison drops back to throw. Out of the flat, complete, finds Gertis. Gertis with enough for the first down as that's out to the 47-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play.
Big difference in Millard North 2015 versus the majority of Coach Petito's career at Millard North. 3rd and 3 is slinging out to your ex-receiver in Gertis, and he gets you first down.
Yeah, I had to check the stats to see a Millard North receiver with 41 catches on the year coming in.
Morrison, he went over 1,000 yards passing this year, the first in Millard North, I believe, history, at least under Coach Petito, which is one and the same.
Certainly holds the school record. Let's put it that way. The handoff here to Matthew. Matthew out to near midfield on first down. That'll bring up second down, about 7.
We do know Coach Petito drinks from the fountain of youth, but he has been there forever. Coach Peterson, Millard West only head coach. Been there since 1995 when the school opened.
That'll be the first time in Petito history that we've got a Millard North team with the passing yards reflective of about 30% of the overall offense.
Yeah, for sure. For him, for sure, yes. Look at this.
Throw back to Kellogg. Kellogg out of the corner, has a first down, dragging a tackler with him inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line on the catch and run by Kellogg.
Right now, he's no longer the X factor that I said. He's the factor. Kellogg on the perimeter. He keeps you honest.
Yeah, watch him lower that shoulder. Anytime you got a running back that's got speed and isn't afraid to lower the shoulder on the outside, he's going to do some things for the offense.
Yeah, Holbert's a pretty good tackler, too. Number 28 from Millard West.
First down and 10 from the 36. Toss and a carry. Line of the carry.
Blake Minden again, number 40 from Millard West, coming up and making the stick, bringing him down.
Dylan Price on that last carry. Gain of 5 brings up second down and 5 for the Mustangs. Morrison keeps it. Breaks one tackle, spins out of another, gets near a first down, might be half-yard short, bring up third down and short for Millard North.
Oh, that's right, I stand corrected. Dan McLaughlin was the first coach at Millard West.
Oh,
the offensive genius, Dan McLaughlin, with a couple of high school state titles at different stops.
Dan McLaughlin hired Kirk Peterson.
Yeah.
3rd and 1, what are they going to do here?
Well, I'm looking for Jake Matthew.
6'2", 235.
Both in A gaps.
Keeper by Morrison, who leans forward very near that first down. We'll see where they're spotted.
Well, that's a tough spot.
A little short. Did not get it based on that spot. That'll bring up 4th down.
You know, in the first quarter, Petito was in the same position. Millard North went for it on 4th down. That eventually led to the touchdown. Even if they are short, which they are.
That quarterback sneak was going to be tough. You had 2 D linemen in the A gaps kind of almost in a pinch type fashion.
They will go on 4th down.
Big play early. Watch rocket toss here, or the wing to come in motion and maybe get a pitch with everybody stacked in the box. There it is.
Toss back to Wine. He's got the 1st down and more. Wine down that far sideline. Touchdown, but there's a flag on the play. May come back.
You think I've seen these two teams before?
Oh, man, you're rubbing the 8-ball over there.
Hey, no, it's the go-to play in 4th and short when you stack the box. He gets you with that rocket toss and will hammer you on the edges.
There's the call. Hold Mustangs. That will come back.
Perhaps the call of the game right there. Thus far.
Yeah, I would say this is a huge momentum swing. I mean, you got a 4th and 1 situation. They're going to bump them back to be about 4th and 10. Might see a punt out of the Mustangs.
Wow, I wonder if they called that on Tristan Toms.
Fred Petito certainly didn't like the call, and he wasn't afraid to let the official know it. One more look at it.
10-yard penalty.
Or was it Bogas? Was it 71?
It had to be inside. I mean, if you look at the outside receiver, it wasn't in the play.
It might.
Let's go down to the field to Sean.
Guys, the Millard North sideline hot about that. One of the coaches said he just abused him there. It wasn't a hold, and Fred Petito and his assistants do not like that call one bit. They were already on this crew earlier on Millard West. Big pass play. They thought Millard West had illegal men downfield on that screen that went for a long distance as well. So early on, a couple calls have not gone the Mustangs' way, and they've let the officiating crew know about it.
And up until this point, that's a game changer. And Coach Peterson, he's got the hat turned backwards. That means he's all business. That is a familiar sight to those that are fans of the Wildcats.
Is that a rally cap?
Well, that's just his style. I mean, he's one of those coaches. He'll shoot you straight. He tells it like it is. If it hurts your feelings, he'll tell you to shake it off.
Yeah.
And keep it moving. And there's another fiery guy in the huddle with Coach Chavez.
Time now for our NSAA championship trivia. Be the first person to email the correct answer to sports@netnebraska.org. And you'll win an NET Sports Championship t-shirt. I'm going to tell you now, you might want to get that address in the address bar. This one's going to go quickly, I have a feeling. So again, who holds the NSAA record for most career rushing yards in Class A? Respond to us. The first to respond gets an NET t-shirt. And the email address one more time is sports@netnebraska.org. We'll give you the answer later in the broadcast and also let you know who won. So that negates the 1st down run and
finally
the touchdown run.
Okay.
That's right. We should have that one. Into the end zone goes the punt. And so the big holding call goes against Millard North, backs them up. No 1st down, no touchdown, and Millard West ball. What a huge call at a pivotal point here where Millard North could have gone up 2 touchdowns.
You have to be careful. This Millard, as you see the sidelines, boy, they are hot. Now, keep your composure, all right? Because what Millard West will do is they'll take advantage of that. Look for something crazy early to try to get into rhythm, but you can't let it spiral out of control. You've been sharp and on point thus far. You can't let the bad call take you out of your game, or the perceived bad call, I should say.
So 1st down and 10 from the 20 for the Wildcats. The keeper. Go down to the field to Sean Callahan.
Hey, David, my question to you on that call, though, wouldn't the 1st down, the holding call happened after the yards were gained, so shouldn't the run have counted and then the 10 yards be marched back after the spot? I was curious about the clarification on that.
That's a great call, Sean, and that's why I asked if it was on Bogas downfield, because if it was, that's a spot foul, which almost would have still given them the 1st down. It was about 10 yards downfield. Now, if it was on Tom's, that's at the point of attack.
Terrific job by Andrew Jaska to pull it out of the belly of Lallman and keep it, and a 1st down on the terrific run by Andrew Jaska.
He's crafty.
Yeah, he's crafty. And this looks like a little bit of a remix here, freestyling.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's like the maestro. They'll figure it out in a hurry. He's as good at what they ask him to do as anyone in the state.
Ethan Cromer came through.
Just level Sandler. Yeah. Sandler gets the carry this time. Says, "Hey, big guy, you're going to take that kind of hit."
That's coming back. That's a bad hold. That's a spin down. And I understand now. I've had to play against Jaden Kowalski or coach against Jaden Kowalski. He has torched us. He is outstanding, and should be going to school for free. I don't know what some recruiters are out there thinking. He should be going to school for free somewhere. But just in this particular offense, for how much he has to handle the workload, doesn't have near the weapons here at Millard West as they do in Bell West. I thought that was a hold. Coach Petito might come unglued.
Face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, the 5-yard face mask on the run by Samler, so Dawson Samler picks up the first down. Now, all of a sudden, quickly into Mustang territory go the Wildcats. First down and 10, ball at the 44-yard line.
Trick play's coming. It's going to be soon.
There's a handoff deep in the hole to Lullman, Luke Lullman. Gain of 3 on first down.
Perhaps the best trick play team in the Metro. Now they platoon that offense, and Coach Turman gets 2 hours a day to work with that offense and just that offense. But they are very good in the art of trickeration.
Seth Turman, the offensive coordinator for the Mustangs. Checked out the Wildcats for Millard West.
And Millard North has a good one in their own, Ty Cotton.
Right. Second down and 8. Andrew Jaska again.
Millard West goes with this unique offense where they're not using tight ends, and what that does is it spreads out that defense, and there's not many linebackers in the middle because you got 3 receivers out wide, and that's great when you got a running quarterback. Andrew Jaska, he's got open lanes in front of him when he pulls the ball.
Yeah, and try coaching against it. 20 personnel is an absolute nightmare. 3 wide receivers, so you got to play the passing game, and they have 2 backs in the backfield. It's a nightmare.
Third down and 4. The give inside to Samler. Samler tripped up. He'll be short of the first down. That'll bring up 4th down. From where they spot it, looks like about 2 to go.
Well, offense isn't coming off the field. Look for the option game.
Millard West will go here.
3-by-1 set. No option coming.
Take a look at the middle of the field.
Yeah.
5 linemen. Yeah. But no linebacker help.
No, that is 0 coverage.
Samler behind Andrew Jaska. He trips and falls and turns it over on downs. Center came out of it quickly. It looked like caught his foot. He tripped. One more look. It was with his back. Samler
had one-on-one coverage to the bottom of the numbers. I believe they were going to look to Preston Humphrey.
They had a blitz drawn up too by Millard North, so we could have had an open guy downfield, and that's a couple mistakes that have led to turnovers on downs and the fumble, and they're controllable mistakes, which makes us feel like Millard West are going to be able to coach these things at halftime, and they're not as far out as some of the momentum might feel on the field.
You don't see cover 0 often, do you? No deep hole, man up across the board, and they're bringing 7.
Gain of 3. On the carry by the fullback, Jake Matthew. Stop inside by Zach Wendt. Second down and 7. Keep by Morrison, not much there. Good job inside.
Yeah, fitting better on the edge now.
Derek hits with the tackle.
This is a good job of saying how actually fighting through the block for hits and then having a gang of Millard West defenders there to wrap up Morrison.
Very, 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 very disciplined on defense where they are gaps in.
Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 6.
Curtis has single coverage at the top of the numbers.
Under pressure and dropped.
Boy.
Big sack from Ruzicka. Nate Ruzicka from that dog backer spot.
Nate Ruzicka comes off the backside with the blitz, and they just didn't see it coming. I mean, this is something that the timing is great. You got a block down by the tackle. That opens up a wide lane, and your eyes get way big as a linebacker in that position.
I couldn't agree more. Right now, that right tackle, I think that's Dylan Dittman. He stepped down, and he's got to be in pass pro. You don't want to step down to the 3 technique. You want to check space. He's got to look to his right.
Sometimes when you're throwing in the passing game and a very run-heavy offense, you miss those checks.
Gertis. Or was that John?
Was that John?
Was it John?
Yeah, Daniel John.
Gertis punts it away, hits at the 28 and rolls, and it'll take a Millard North roll down to the 15-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over.
So this first half has been played at a brisk pace.
Yeah, the clock is running. I mean, even when they're going to the passing game, they're getting the ball in the hands of the receivers to keep the clock running.
3:54 in the second quarter.
Believe it? I want to remind everybody, coming up tomorrow night on NAT Sports, we've got Nebraska volleyball coming your way. Husker volleyball continues as the Huskers take the court against the Fighting Illini. That's tomorrow night, Nebraska, Illinois. Watch live action from the Bob Devaney Sports Center, 7 Central on NAT. Nebraska's home for sports, Illinois and Nebraska. Millard West will take over from the 16. First down and 10. Andrew Jaska pulls it out, slips a tackle. He's got room down the sideline. Andrew Jaska slipping through tacklers out near the 40-yard line. Terrific game by Andrew Jaska.
It's agility. I mean, that is something that was a quick quarterback.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you I was surprised. Unfortunately, I've seen that all too often.
And look, I love the downfield blocking too. I mean, this is what's going to open up the opportunity for Andrew Jaska to get an extra 5 yards here. Is the great blocking by Preston Humphrey on the outside, number 7. He's a senior. He knows how to open up the lane for the quarterback downfield. You gotta love it.
21-yard gain on the carry by Andrew Jaska. First down and 10. Ball at the 37. Give inside.
That almost popped, didn't it?
Very close, so the give to Chris Russell.
See, I'm a big fan of number 3. Begley plays a real good safety. He plays the deep hole well. He can go from hash to hash in coverage, and he plays downhill in the run game. He's a true alley runner. Good football player right there.
Last carry was Samler, Dawson Samler inside. Inside, 3 minutes to go here before the half. Andrew Jaska keeps shut down. Good stop there by Ethan Cromer inside, along with Adrian Kellogg. Kellogg and Cromer.
Ethan Cromer's a big junior, 6'1", 250, and he just fights his way through that block. I mean, you got a great offensive lineman in Matthew Danielson, senior for Millard West, but Cromer just fights his way into the backfield and makes a great tackle, brings up a 3rd and long situation.
To throw is Andrew Jaska. Looks downfield. Got a man wide open. The catch by Wyatt. No!
Boy, Shea Wyatt, he might want that one back, and I think that Andrew Jaska, he kind of puts that in the right spot, but how did he get that open, man?
I tell you, they play so much man-to-man. It looked like he got beat off the line of scrimmage, but you can't miss on that one.
Boy, I think that Wyatt felt that he was open, and that ball carried a little bit further.
Oh, the little bubble and go. You got to come out of your break running, kiddo.
Yeah,
that's on Wyatt. You got to come out of that. You got to come off that route moving. A little screen, a little bubble and go. And he went all right.
Santos in there to punt it away. Back deep is Dylan Price. Price takes it on the one hop out to the 32. Price returns it 4 yards.
Carter Wilkin.
Yep.
Yeah, he came down and knocked him. I mean, these guys, it's state championship football. You're on punt coverage, you get downfield, you make those hits. And Carter Wilkin, he's a junior, and he'll be back next year, but hits like that, man, that gets you recognized.
And Coach Young out there working hard, defensive coordinator for Millard West, as his defense has settled down. It's got to be interesting. I believe Chad Young played at Millard South, too. Steps over to the dark side. Been at Millard West for a long time.
Andrew Wine in the backfield. The keep by Morrison.
You know, Petito mentioned before this game that they got checks on this offense side now. He's getting a lot of control of the offense to Morrison. You can see before that play starts, he makes a little shift in the backfield. Makes me think that he saw something he liked around the left side. Gets 4 yards in the carry there.
Yeah, we played them 4 times, I believe, what, 12 months, LP? And into the regular season, state finals. Then we played them in the regular season and state finals, or in the playoffs. They like to count. They want to see where they have an advantage. As a defense, you've got to stay balanced. He splits you right down the center. He counts left to right.
Toss to Kellogg. He's got room without Kellogg out near midfield. First down, Millard North. Kellogg driven out of bounds will stop the clock. 1:17 to go. Mustangs have something going here.
That's where they got to make the,
Got a cramp maybe?
We've seen that. That's the 4th time today.
If that's what it is, I'm not sure.
Get the pickle juice. There you go.
We've seen, that's the 4th player we've seen cramp since this morning.
It's strange weather. You know, you expect a little bit
you don't want
colder.
Yeah, you don't want to. You're not drinking a whole lot because you think it's cool, but they haven't had any answer yet for this toss.
Yeah, that was a shoulder. He grabbed that shoulder immediately on the block.
And that's the one. That's the one that's been hurt. He's had a tough time with that. That's not a good sign. That's what's ailed him all season long. Is that bad shoulder.
First down and 10. Ball at the 49-yard line of Millard West. Back to throw is Morrison. Got a man out there. Turned around, made the grab. What a catch. Pulled in by Andrew Wine.
Andrew Wine. You know, Damon, you said before the game that Andrew Wine's the X factor. Is that what you're talking about?
I wanted to go with him as my X factor, but I went with Kellogg. And kind of like his last name, he's gotten much better with time, right? As the season has wore on, he's become that guy.
Watch this. One little hand fighting out there, pulls it in.
One-handed, no gloves in the cold, fine like wine.
First down and 10. Here's Kellogg.
See, they're doing work right now on the perimeter. That's where Millard North has found their hay. They're able to handle those guys on the edge, and they're getting in the alley in that run game.
One more look at it. Watch him stick the hand out here to keep it in play.
Surprised to see no flag on the play. Letting him play.
There's a hand fighting there, right? Straight out of the field, Sean Callahan.
Another thing here, guys, to watch is Millard North has all 3 of their timeouts. So this is a situation where Fred Petito, as we know, likes to run the football. They can run their whole playbook here in these last 40 seconds.
Kellogg went out of bounds. That stopped the clock. 40 seconds to go. Morrison at quarterback. Kellogg was in motion, fakes the give, wide open out of the flat, touchdown! Caught by Andrew Wine, 2 big catches by Wine, and the Mustangs with a 13-point lead.
Now Wine, that is his 10th catch on the year, 6th touchdown. When you need a big play, you find Wine.
What is it about Buddy Ryan? What do you say about Chris Carter? All he does is catch touchdowns.
It's a good job. Good
got to make some adjustments on the perimeter. Leaky edge defense for Millard West right now. Been strong up the middle, weak on the outside.
Reed in for the point after try. Good pressure up the middle, but he knocks it through, and we are 35 seconds away from halftime, and the Mustangs have a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, and you wonder, how does he get so wide open? They've shown you the same look, you know, 7, 8, 9 plays in a row, and instead of pinning on the edges that wing, he all of a sudden shows the pin block and just releases. It's a lot harder to defend than it looks like it should be done on television. Trust me firsthand. That's what makes this newfound passing game so difficult to handle when you play against Millard North.
You used to be able to predict that on first down it was going to be a run, second down is going to be a run, third down is going to be a run, and that's going to open up a lot of things. And you know, the defensive back there, Jacob Richardson, he saw it late, and all it takes is a split second for the receiver to get to the flat.
Yeah, there were times we would just man up with the number ones, even if they were wings, with our corners, and played 9 against the run. And said, if you beat us over the top, you beat us over the top.
Millard North came in 10-2, 2 losses on the season. One of those, a 42-7 drubbing against the Wildcats. And right now, here we are, 35 seconds away from half, and Millard North with a surprising 14-0 lead. Here's Reed to kick it deep. Reed will squib it through there. It'll be taken by Russell at about the 32-yard line. Russell tripped up as he gets out to about the 36.
Well, that's okay for Russell to go down there. I mean, you got 32 seconds. You think if you're Millard West, you got to try and do something before the end of the half to get some momentum. They got 2 timeouts left, and a quarterback that can get down the field quickly if he needs to.
Yeah, and if you're Millard North right now, you enjoy playing with a 14-point lead. You're arguably your best offensive player. Seems to be bothered by that shoulder again. It makes the second half a little more palpable with a 14-point lead.
Take over from the 36. They flip it to Wyatt. Wyatt has some room. Good pursuit as Wyatt was kept in bounds. Let's see if they take a timeout here.
On this, they do go with the timeout here, but on this play, I mean, if you could see Dylan Price, number 1, the defender for Millard North, he ran 30 yards across the field to make that tackle. I mean, that looked like it was going to be wide open, but that's the effort that you need. I mean, you're going into halftime. Sometimes on defense, you can kind of get a little lax. Dylan Price from Millard North bringing it.
Yeah, it's interesting. See, Coach Turman is up in the box. You take a look at the replay. You can see him come across the moat. Yeah, there he is.
He's just fighting his way across.
See, that's a good job because right now he looks as though he's playing man-to-man. He's trailing his receiver. That's really difficult to do. That's outstanding. There's Coach Turman in the box. I love our camera crew. It's like they're in my head, right? There are times where he enjoys being on the field. There are times that he likes being in the box. But I can tell you, when he's far away from the action and he sees his guys down 14 points, he'd rather be closer to the action than he is right now. A bright offensive mind.
Good lineage. Father Tim Turman. Brother Matt, head coach at Scott. Set the offensive coordinator for the Wildcats. Second down and 22 seconds to go. 1 timeout now remaining for the Wildcats. Andrew Jaskett in the gun. Wyatt in motion. They give it to Wyatt, who will throw back to Andrew Jaskett, who's wide open. Catch inside the 35, pushed out of bounds at the 32.
They're lucky Taylor or Kellogg runs.
Yeah, no, Kellogg's the one that turned around.
They're lucky Kellogg runs as well as he does. I keep thinking of Adrell Taylor, who they had a year ago. Look at this.
If he didn't,
Taylor's the only one that's going to make that play.
That is,
excuse me, Kellogg.
Yep.
Great job at stopping the trick play, but does a good job of getting downfield pretty quick for Millard West.
He's got about 4 more of those in his pocket. Trust me on that.
Still tough sledding here over the middle. Intercepted. Picked off by Jack Begley. Begley with the big interception. That'll turn the Wildcats away here late in the first half.
Now you've seen his complete game. Remember, I told you Begley's the guy that can go hash to hash on you, and he's an alley runner. Here he is playing hash. He's just deep hole. He's reading Andrew Jaska's eyes, and he underthrows Lawman, undercuts the pass. That's what number 3 does for Millard North. He's like a quarterback back there on defense.
Yeah, and he does a great job of getting this defense aligned and in position. But Jack Begley, he's a junior, 6'3", 210. That's his 3rd interception on the year. He will be back, and there will be many Mustang fans happy about that.
First Millard West play of the half was a turnover. Last Millard West play, a turnover. 2 turnovers in the first half for the Wildcats have led to a Mustang 14-0 lead. Fred Petito must be thrilled right now. Coming up at half, I want to remind you, we'll have the Believers and Achievers. Dr. Jim Tinniper will be in here to visit us, the executive director of the NSAA, also first half highlights and statistics. Good conversation before they head to the locker room. Sean Callahan down on the field with Fred Petito.
Coach Petito, your team up 14-0 here at halftime. What do you like about the way your guys have come out here?
Well, we're playing extremely hard and smart. All right, and we're winning our one-on-one battles down low at times. So they're pretty explosive. So we got to go ahead from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, we're handling them up front, and that's good.
How well do you guys know Millard West? Obviously, you played them in the regular season. You see these guys around town. I mean, just how well do you guys know what they're doing just from all the time you had to prepare for these guys?
Well, they've always got something that you haven't seen, and you just seen that the last play of the half there. And so we got to be disciplined, not chase things that shouldn't be chased, and play a little smarter second half.
All right, Coach. Best of luck here second half.
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Sean, and thank you very much to Fred Petito for spending a couple of minutes with it. Great couple of catches
by Wine has led to the touchdown and the lead. Millard left on top at half, 14-zip.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Forecast, plenty of sunshine through today with seasonable temperatures. We should reach our normal high of 82 degrees by this afternoon. Clear skies tonight with a low near 70. Increasing cloudiness tomorrow, sticky and...
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Over the years, the Nebraska Chiropractic Physicians Association has supported many Nebraska athletes by helping them excel physically. But the mental game is just as important. That's why we're pleased to sponsor the NSAA Academic All-State Award Program, recognizing students and athletes who shine in the classroom and as leaders. We're proud to team up with these exceptional individuals. Together we can continue to make Nebraska a great place to live, learn, and play.
Coverage of the 2015 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by the Nebraska Soybean Board, the Nebraska Public Power District, Education Quest, the Nebraska Tourism Commission, the Aurora Cooperative, and by Constellation. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support.
And welcome back to Memorial Stadium. We are at halftime of the NSAA State High School Championships. Score at halftime, Millard North on top of Millard West, 14-0. Pleased to be joined now by Dr. Jim Tenneper, the Executive Director of the Nebraska School Activities Association. You came back after a stint at National. Welcome back to Nebraska. It's great to have you back.
Appreciate that. Thank you. It was a good 5 years in Indianapolis. I had some great people to work with there. It is good to be back in Nebraska and good to be back on the NSAA scene.
Hard to believe it's been 5 years already, so good to have you back. You're dealing with a lot of issues right now, and so a lot to talk with you about. Let's start with gender participation and what you're doing for some of our transgendered athletes, and that seems to be like the hot topic in the news right now.
It really is, and you know, you get someone my age and you have to question what is transgender and why are we even taking a look at that, but you know, my philosophy has been for a long time that we address every kid every day, and it's not just the varsity athletes, not just those who are college bound, but every kid every day, and we have to provide for them opportunities to participate. And with that in mind, the transgender student, the student who consistently identifies as a gender opposite what their birth certificate says, we really do not have bylaws in place to accommodate those students. So with that in mind, we've been taking a strong look at how we might be able to involve those students and do so in a fashion that the courts don't have to decide each time that we have to make that determination. So it's a difficult topic. It's a topic that our board has struggled with. It's a topic that a lot of schools here in Nebraska have struggled with. And it's one that hopefully, before too much longer, we'll have a policy in place so that we can say, this is the route that a transgender student needs to go if they want to participate in NSAA activities.
Along those same lines of being inclusive, I know you're excited about the unified sports opportunities coming up to include other opportunities for athletes, and bowling maybe, it looks like the first opportunity there.
That is correct. You know, back in 2014, the Office of Civil Rights submitted to all the schools across the country and all the state associations what they called a Dear Colleague letter that basically said you need to provide participation opportunities for students with disabilities. And here in Nebraska, we've taken a look at students with intellectual disabilities as our first attempt. And that first activity is unified bowling. And we're hopeful that that will get off the ground this next school year. Our board at the last meeting did approve that. Our board is looking forward to providing opportunities for those students who heretofore have had minimal opportunities. And as you said, bowling is that first attempt.
Let's also talk about what you do for the coaches around the state, because I know coaching education and providing opportunities for the coaches around is an important initiative for NSAA.
Well, I tell you, this probably comes across as a bit of a commercial for my former employer, the National Federation. The National Federation of State High School Associations has a very extensive coach education program. All 50 states across the country have concussion laws, and how you go about not only treating the concussions, but the return to play and the return to learn. The National Federation's concussion course is mandated here in Nebraska. Every coach has to take that. One of the things that we're doing right now is we're working with the State Athletic Directors Association and the State Coaches Association and taking a look at what more we can be doing to provide opportunities for kids through education for coaches. And so we're looking at a couple of more courses that perhaps will be mandated to coaches. Sudden cardiac arrest, that's the #1 cause of death from participation in high school sports. They've got a course on that. Also a course on heat illness and heat and hydration issues. We believe that the more prepared our coaches are, the better opportunities for our kids to be able to participate in a fashion that is as safe as we can make it.
Well, as I said, it's great to have you back in the state of Nebraska. I think you told me you've committed to 10 more years, right?
Well, that's not quite that many, but a couple years I'll be here in the saddle, so.
It's great to have you back.
Appreciate that, thank you.
That's the executive director of the NSAA, Jim Tinneper. Now let's go to public address announcer Rich Broderson for this week's Believers and Achievers.
And 78 rushing yards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special halftime presentation this evening. Believers and Achievers is a statewide program designed by U.S. Bank and the Nebraska School Activities Association to give recognition to Nebraska's future leaders. We have 8 Nebraska high school seniors who have demonstrated academic excellence and a commitment to good citizenship. For their involvement in school and community service projects, U.S. Bank and the NSAA would like to honor the Believers and Achievers who are with us tonight. Presenting the Believers and Achievers Awards are U.S. Bank Representative Alyssa Chandler, NSAA Executive Director Dr. Jim Tinneper, and NSAA Board of Director members Nolan Byer of Millard Public Schools and Dan Kieser of Sutherland. Tonight, our first honoree is Courtney Anderson of Adams Central High School. Courtney is a 4.0 student who participates in cross-country, track and field, journalism, and music. Courtney is a 4-time NSAA Class C cross-country championship qualifier and 5th place medalist in the pole vault at the 2015 NSAA Class B track and field championships. At Adams Central, Courtney serves as student council president and as the captain of the cheerleading team. In her community, Courtney is a member of the 4-H, K9 Companions for Life, and a volunteer for HL Pet Connection. Ladies and gentlemen, Courtney Anderson. Next is Alexa Bruick of Seward High School. Alexa participates in girls golf, play production, and speech while being a straight A student. Alexa is a 2-time state speech qualifier, an extemporaneous speaking, and a 3-time NCPA academic all-state selection. At Seward, Alexa is a member of the Skills USA Nebraska, Quiz Bowl, Academic Decathlon, and National Honor Society. Alexa serves in her community as a student representative on the district school board, volunteers as a Sunday school teacher, and is a member of the community choir. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexa Bruick. Our next recipient is Caden Copeland from Sutherland High School. Caden maintains a 4.0 GPA while participating in football, basketball, boys golf, and music. He has earned NCPA academic all-state honors for football and basketball and was a member of Sutherland's 2013, 2014, and 2015 Class D1 football playoffs qualifying teams. A National Honor Society member, Caden is a treasurer of Student Council, a member of his church's youth group, and volunteers his time as a mentor with the Teammates program. Ladies and gentlemen, Caden Copeland. Austin Heifley of Wilbur-Claytonia High School. Austin is a 4.0 student who participates in football, wrestling, track and field, and music. Austin was a 2015 Class C State Individual Wrestling Championships qualifier and also a member of Wilbur-Claytonia's 2015 NSAA Class C1 football playoff semifinal team. A two-time NCPA academic all-state selection, Austin is a member of the National Honor Society and Student Council while serving as president of his school's FFA chapter. He is an active participant in his community's Czech Days as a Basida dance performer and teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Heifley. Madison Chanceau of Lincoln North Star High School. Madison is a 3.84 student who participates in softball and girls tennis. Madison was a member of Lincoln North Star's 2013, 2014, and 2015 NSAA Class A softball championship qualifying teams, while also placing 5th in number 2 doubles at the 2014 Class A State Tennis Championship. She is a member of National Honor Society and Junior Boosters Club, while consistently being on the honor roll. In her community, Madison volunteers her time at her church and the public library. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Chanceau. Next is Kevin Soshek of East Butler High School. Kevin maintains a 4.0 GPA while participating in cross country, track and field, play production, speech, and music. An NCPA academic all-state nominee in cross country. Kevin is a leader in his school, serving as chapter president of FFA while also participating in Quiz Bowl, academic decathlon, National Honor Society, and FCCLA. In his community, Kevin is a blood donor, CCD participant, county fair volunteer, and a Cornhusker Boys State representative. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Soshek. Abhinav Suresh of Omaha Brunel Talbot School High School. Abhinav carries a 4.0 GPA while participating in boys tennis and speech. Abhinav was crowned a 2014 and 2015 Class C1 State Speech Champion in extemporaneous speaking. At Brownell Talbot, he is a member of Chess Club and Academic Decathlon. He is also actively involved in his community, volunteering as an assistant teacher at chess camp and as a food packer at his church. Ladies and gentlemen, Abhinav Suresh. Our final recipient tonight is Hope Wilkie of North Platte High School. Hope carries a 4.0 grade point average while participating in girls golf, basketball, track and field, play production, and music. Hope is a 3-time NSAA Class A Track and Field Championships qualifier, also earning NCPA Academic All-State Track and Field honors in 2014. At North Platte, he serves as the Chief of Staff and Class Chair of Student Council and is a member of both the Sportsmanship Council and National Honor Society. Ladies and gentlemen, Hope Wilkie. And now, let's give one more big round of applause to the 2015-2016 Believers and Achievers, the future leaders of Nebraska.
So congratulations to those young athletes and outstanding students. Here, look one more time at your 2015 NSAA Believers and Achievers being recognized for terrific academic and athletic and participation within their schools and their communities. Congratulations to each and every one. When we come back, we'll take a look at highlights and statistics right here on NET Sports.
All right, college visit number 2. Here we go.
What?
Learn more from Education Quest at govisitcollege.org. Methodist. That's the meaning of care.
The Aurora Cooperative is reshaping the agricultural landscape through world-class agronomy, innovative grain marketing, energy, and animal nutrition, with the vision and financial strength to not just anticipate change, but create it, driven by an unwavering commitment to the farmers and ranchers we serve, to their communities, and to the next generation of agricultural leaders. The Aurora Cooperative, growing opportunities.
Head trauma and concussion risk minimization is a priority of the NSAA. When in doubt, sit them out.
Some common symptoms of concussions are dizziness, confusion, and nausea.
The NSAA requires coaches in all sports to take a concussion course annually.
For more information regarding concussion management and return to play protocol, visit our website, nsaahome.org. When in doubt, sit them out.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. We are at halftime of the Class A state championship. The Mustangs on top of the Wildcats. It's 14-0, and this is the final game of 6 games we've brought you here over the last 2 days on NET Sports. It's been our pleasure to bring you the state high school championships across the entire state of Nebraska, and we'd love to know what you think about our coverage. So please give us your feedback on the coverage of the state high school football championships by sending us an email. You can reach us at sports@netnebraska.org. Love to know what you think of our coverage. Your comments certainly important to us, and if you send those in, we may just share those on the air during the second half of this game. So once again, please email your comments in this final championship game, sports@netnebraska.org. We appreciate you watching, and it's been our pleasure to bring you these state high school championships. Let's go down to the field. Sean is with the head coach of the Millard West Wildcats, Kirk Peterson.
With Kirk Peterson here, Coach, you're down 14-0, but what do you tell your guys at halftime in this situation? Because there were a lot of moments where you had opportunities to make those plays and turn this game.
Go back to week 1. You know, we've been here. It's been a long time. We got to be a little better on the line of scrimmage. You know, they're taking the fight to us a little bit. Got to execute. You know, we had bad early turnover, then we left points out there, missing the field goal. So, and then that late score, you know, put us down 2 scores. But we just got to do what we've done all year. You know, we're not going to panic. You know, we've got a couple adjustments we made. Let's go let her hang out in the second half and see what happens.
Has Millard North thrown much different at you, or are they kind of who they are still?
How many times have you ever watched them play? They haven't done anything different. We knew that. You know, we just got to sink our pad level a little bit, be a little more physical at the point of attack. We'll be all right.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kirk, and thank you, Sean. I love the message.
He's a tough cookie. Boy.
Do what we do.
Cold
right?
shot. Have they thrown anything different at you? How many times you seen Millard North play? That's the shot across the bows from Coach P.
Just do what we do. Go back to week 1, which, by the way, was the week they played you, David, at Omaha North. Let's take a look at highlights.
We had them down 13-0 at the half.
That's right. Let's take a look at highlights, and it's been a good game for Anderjaska. Logan Anderjaska, great completion here along the line to Humphrey. Anderjaska shows his escapability here, although not able to capitalize on the throw. Wow, that one could have been a special play there, just through the hands of Chris Russell. And defensively, they've been stout as well. Boy, big shot there.
Millard North been a little more effective. They've put points on the board. Kellogg with the carry.
Yeah, he's been tough out in space. He's hard to handle.
And they pick up an extra 15 yards on the late penalty there. That leads to Morrison's touchdown. That made it 7-zip. And then this touchdown, little floater out here to Wine, makes it 14-zip, and that's where we are at half. What do you make of the stats, guys?
You know, you look at both teams, and they're not doing as well on offense. I mean, this is a very fast first half, and that's not giving much teams time to rack up the stats, but you know, a little bit of balance there for Millard West, a little bit heavy on the rush for Millard North, but that's what you expect from Petito.
Yeah, right now the big difference in the game are the two turnovers. Yeah. I mean, it's virtually pretty much even. Even third down conversions, 50% to 40%. But right now it is the turnovers. You got to take better care of the football, and Millard West has to tackle a little bit better and be stout at the point of attack.
And yes, one of those turnovers came late, but the other one led directly to a Millard North touchdown. When we come back, third quarter, second half action, Class A state championship coming your way. 14-zip, Millard North.
No matter how you look at it, animal agriculture helps Nebraska's economy. The livestock industry provides increased tax revenues for schools and community services. Livestock enterprises also create jobs while contributing to existing businesses such as local banks and grocery stores. A thriving livestock industry helps maintain our current way of life, but also provides opportunities for the next generation of farm families. The Nebraska Soybean Checkoff helps to raise awareness of the importance of animal agriculture to Nebraska.
Everyone's walking a path, and most paths are best walked together. Because when we travel together, our lives are livelier, our journey more enjoyable, and the places we'll discover will be simply spectacular. To be in a place like no other that unites you all in a state of wonder. Wouldn't that be nice?
Constellation believes in developing the next generation of Nebraska leaders, and we show that support by contributing to 4-H and FFA in the 60 Nebraska counties we serve. More than $78,000 over the past 3 years alone. Constellation provides natural gas for Nebraska homes, farms, ranches, and businesses. Through our support for 4-H and FFA, we're providing energy for Nebraska's future as well. Natural gas from Constellation.
Coverage of the 2015 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by the Nebraska Soybean Board, the Nebraska Public Power District, Education Quest, the Nebraska Tourism Commission, the Aurora Cooperative, and by Constellation. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. Well, I'm with Blake Lawrence, Damon Benning, Sean Callahan. I'm Larry Putney. Good to have you with us as we get set for second half action here in the Class A state championship game. Millard North has been impressive. They lead at 14-0, and they will receive. Back deep is Dylan Price, number 1. Number 25, Tate Moyer. To kick it away for the Wildcats will be Conrad Sandos. Ready to go, the final 24 minutes of football this season in high school in Nebraska underway. It'll be taken at the 1-yard line, bobbled and picked up by Moyer. Moyer under some pressure, has some room along the far side if he can get there, out to about the 15-yard line. That's where Millard North will take over.
We've called him out already. Carter Wilkin, number 9 for Millard West, doing a great job on special teams for their tackle there. Moyer had some good coverage in front of him, a little bobble, but give some time to get Ethan Morrison on the field and see what he can do.
Go ahead.
I'm always curious to see what happens on the first drive coming out of the third quarter. Now, Coach Peterson said they made a few tweaks. I imagine it was part of their edge defense, how they're going to pass off some of the options that happen out there on the perimeter.
Ethan Morrison back in there, quarterback to lead this Mustang attack. In motion goes Kellogg. Morrison keeps himself. Turns that corner. They throw him forward for a gain of about 6 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down and 4 on the gain by Morrison.
Zach Wendt, the big defensive lineman there from Millard West, getting through on pursuit. Just finishes the play. Get some other guys there to make it as well, but they got to make those tackles. They got to get them in the position. But that's 5 yards from Millard North real quick.
Good to see Jake Matthew out there too. If you're a Millard North fan, well, if you're a fan of football, right? You don't want a player that good to not be out on the field for a state championship.
Morrison with the keep, follows his block of Kellogg, and a first down for Ethan Morrison. Followed Kellogg right up into the hole. Nice game.
Yeah, just a real good job handling the defensive line of Millard West. Millard North's been very good up front, underappreciated facet of that football team. Better up front than I thought they'd be tonight.
Saw the pop that Matthew took right there at the line of scrimmage. The hit by Zach Wint. Matthew's still in there. Shoulder must be feeling better.
Well, it looks like he's got the Sully on it, and I see the black sleeve underneath. I'm not sure if he had that.
Good block out on the edge. Morrison to keep again. From that safety spot. There's Carter Wilkin again.
That's a big guy.
Yeah, he's got 44 tackles coming in this game. So you'll see him on special teams, you'll see him on defense, but juniors all over the field. I like it.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up 2nd down and 6. Morrison, one of the more effective passers Millard North has ever had. They'll run it again, right up behind Kellogg one more time. But if it works, stick with it, and that's what they're doing. A gain of about 6. That'll bring up 3rd down and maybe short, although it looks like he might have it. He has enough for the first down.
The big one, Corey Casper here, number 79 for Millard North, does a good job of just clearing out this lane. You see him here on the outside. Just enough room for Morrison to get that first down.
Just getting through the skinniest of creases.
Yeah, well, he's
nifty.
He's nifty, man. You can see the beard shining through that chin strap.
I thought it was a chin strap when you do have a beard, so he's rocking 2 chin straps.
Double chin strap. That's Morrison style. That's what they're calling it.
Those big splits up front from Millard West. Or excuse me, Millard North.
Toss to Wine. Wine breaks 1 tackle. Good stop though on the edge.
Well, that's a positive if you're seeing what's happening with the green and white. That's the first time they've held that rocket toss.
Warren Punt out there on that defensive end.
To no gain.
Warren Punt's a big defensive end, and he does a good job of stringing that out. Anytime you got that toss coming around the side, you got to get your other defenders from the inside time to get out and make the play. And the defensive end does enough there not only to string out the play, but make the tackle.
Yeah, that's got to be
Tom Punt's.
That's got to be Tom Punt's kid.
Yeah, I think so. Tom Punt, a great lineman at Nebraska, originally from Sioux Center, Iowa.
Got space.
Nice nifty moves, got some room to the 40, inside the 40, down to the 34-yard line. Terrific move and run by Aaron Gertis.
Well, Gertis is, you know, the thing that I like about Gertis is he's got a couple different skill sets. He handles guys on the perimeter, and then he can shake you and bake you. And how about him get skinny through the crease? Way to get vertical, young man.
Look, Bandera left something on the turf there. Look at that move by Gertis.
One dance move and back up the floor.
First down and 10. Ball at the 37-yard line. Morrison steps back. Kellogg walks up into the hole. Tough run by Matthew, still on his feet. Matthew, the stiff arm, down to the 10-yard line. Terrific carry by the 6'2", 235-pound fullback, Jake Matthew.
Matthew is a guy you don't want to meet in the hole, and you can figure that out right here. His shoulder's doing all right. He's getting downfield, but look at him just
about the good footwork,
shedding the tackle.
The thing that I think is the most amusing, if you see if you see him in the streets, he looks like he's been chiseled out of granite, right? Not a hair out of place. Got the block solid chin. And then you see him in your living room like we're seeing right now, and he's all in your kitchen, right? Like, just doesn't look the part, but he brings drama.
He is all in your kitchen. 8:20, here's the toss to Matthew. No gain there, good play from Bandera. Check that. That was Hitz, Derek Hitz.
Derek Hitz, once again, stringing it out. And you see Matthew, he's very effective going downhill. That's a big running back to be throwing a toss at. You know, Millard North, obviously, you got a great player, a big guy hard to bring down, but the toss play may not fit his role.
Hitz has got to be approaching double digits in tackles. It seems like he's been everywhere.
He's at 5.
Okay.
4 solo, but they show up big when they're solo, right?
Yes, they do. He's been all over.
Slow going off there. Didn't pick up the number.
Well, that was 71. That might be. Is that right?
Bogats. Mason Bogats.
You got to hold him to a field goal here if you can't get it to him. You can't go down 3 scores to Millard North.
They're taking time off the clock, too. This is what you
3
want.
touchdowns anyway.
Second down and goal. Ball on the floor. On the turf, still loose. And Millard West picks it up. Big turnover.
Well, I apologize for the Mustang fans at home. That's a little ominous foreshadowing. That's what you needed if you wanted to stay in this game. It looked like the snap was. It looks like the snap was bobbled.
One more look at it. You see it pop out of there on the exchange. Johnny on the spot is Quentin Bummer. Wildcats have the ball back.
Your favorite PBS shows, ready to watch when you are. Anytime, any place. Find more ways to explore than ever before.
This year, PBS programs were honored with 38 Emmy Awards and more news and documentary awards than any other network. Our shows engage, inform, and inspire, and you make them possible with your support.
They were a very small group of very extreme people.
There's more to the story than the story we all know.
They weren't the people that you would expect to be founding a new colony.
The Pilgrims on American Experience.
Tonight at 9:30 Central on NET.
Back at Memorial Stadium, Class A state championship game. Big turnover here to start this third quarter of play. Millard North put together an effective drive all the way down inside the 10-yard line. And then trying to pull it out and run the option. It hits the hip. And Morrison fumbles, recovered, and what a big break here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, big indeed. That's what they needed if they were going to stay in this game. You just couldn't afford to go down 3 scores, let alone 3 touchdowns to Millard North.
Back out there at quarterback now for the Wildcats is Logan Anderjaska. He'll keep himself. Pitches late. A little underhand flip back to Preston. Check that to Humphrey. Nope, you're right. It was Lallman.
You know, Millard West, they got to be careful here. Sometimes you feel like you're down, especially a long drive to start the second half, and you want to get it all at once, but that's a risky play, downfield pitch.
Tell you what,
it would have been brilliant if it worked.
Yeah, if that's to the field.
You don't make
it didn't look like Millard North had anybody accounted for the pitch guy. A little different wrinkle out of the option game too, bringing it back. Here they go again.
Give up the middle. There's Samler.
Well, I tell you what, that was a hammer shot.
Flag on the play.
Where Justin Peterson took one right in the back.
Illegal motion. That's going to back Millard West up.
It's the little things.
Illegal shift on the offense. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
It's up 3rd down now.
Oh, that's interesting. You prefer 3rd and 4 or a long 4 to 2nd and 12.
Yeah, 2nd and 13.
9.
Well, it's not a spot penalty.
No, just 5 yards. Yeah, 2nd and 9 to 3rd and 4. That paid off.
Just out of the hands of Humphrey on the attempted screen. It's bubble screen.
Interesting call right there on 3rd and 4. Conceptually, I don't know if I like that pass play right there.
Watch Justin Peterson sniff this out, the defensive tackle. He's right there to make the hit. Yeah. Even if he's going to catch the ball, Humphrey's going to get laid out. So that's just, it worked earlier in the game. You saw a little middle screen by Millard West and couldn't get it there.
Carlos Sandoz now back to punt. He'll be punting to Dylan Price, who's right at midfield. Off the side of the foot of Sandoz, lands at about the 45 and rolls to the 48-yard line. So the Mustangs will take over in Wildcat territory with a 2-touchdown lead.
I thought for a second Dylan Price was going to try to scoop that and go.
Surprised, Damon, we're 2.5 quarters in and Millard West not on the board yet?
Yeah, I'm shocked. But I think it's twofold. Number one, Millard West has made some mistakes, right? Uncharacteristic. I don't think that Coach Peterson liked his walkthrough yesterday from what I heard. But the other thing is, you got to give credit to Millard North. Much better defensively than I thought that they were going to be tonight in terms of being gap sound and playing with good discipline.
Toss out to Kellogg. He's got some room on the outside. Look out, Kellogg with a first down, a gain of 14 yards on first. That'll give them a first down and ball at the 33-yard line. Good carry.
Hey, how skilled is Gertis out on the edge? Look where his DB is. He's off the screen.
That's what you want, man.
I told you, he can not only get after you in the passing game, he is a devastating run blocker on the perimeter. Great big line splits from Millard North.
Give to Matthew. Matthew inside, not much room to move. It's 3 or 4. Big pile up there for the Wildcats, led at the bottom of the pile by Quentin Bummer.
It's good to see Bogax back out there, 71 from Millard North, back off. Came off the field a little slow in the last drive, and then him and Ethan Butler on the left side have been opening up some holes, but Millard West on that play stopped them short.
If the game was just played in the interior, which a lot of times it is between these two teams, advantage Millard North. Been better on the offensive and defensive lines tonight. And the bobbled snap.
Bobbled it, but gathered it back. Tackle made by Blake Minden. Minden with the stop, brings up 3rd down. 3rd and 2. Ball spotted at the 25.
Yeah, just no panic from Morrison right here on the bobbled snap. Coach Petito called him one of the best leaders that he's been around, and that's saying some lofty praise at the quarterback spot when you coached an Isaac Ockery, a Todd Doxson, an Eric Crouch, a McCardle, and Alex Shada.
Keep going.
I mean, you know, Nick Fela.
Toss to Kellogg, flag on the play, will be enough for a first down. We have to check the penalty. We'll likely back them up and make this a 3rd and middle-ish.
I mean, I thought when we saw Ockery 3 times in a short amount of time.
We're asking the Millard North sideline, so we'll see.
And I figured his poise at the quarterback spot and his ability to command that offense. They ran true triple with him. I thought he was one of the best leaders that I'd seen in high school. And to put Morrison in that same race.
Shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
See, you get that a lot when you get those double wings. You know, Millard West tried to do it too in their option game. And you get motion and somebody moves. It's easy to do when you've got 4 guys in the backfield.
3rd and a little bit long for Millard North. They've gone to the pass game in these situations earlier in the game, but
look at the yards this quarter. Millard North 97 to Millard West's 6. 3rd down and 7 after the 5-yard penalty. Under pressure. Throws it up there. Touchdown!
Yeah, that's just my guy's better than your guy. The inability to look back for the football is killing Millard West right now.
Look at the jump pass. This is Morrison. He just knows this is coming. This is back foot. That's a great job of knowing your receiver. That's almost 50 times these guys have hooked up this year. And Gertis on the outside is a great receiver. He finds it before they do.
Yeah, it's almost like he heard us talking about him. He's truly dual threat. We just talked about him locking up DBs for 12, 15 yards downfield. Then he goes up and gets a 50-50 ball.
Extra point is good by Matt Reed.
I go all the way back to the beginning of this game. And I now think it's a point to talk about. You look at the body language of the two teams that came on this field. A little bit of a mix-up there. Kellogg But that's still the only place his guy can go get it, even off his back foot.
No, he's doing a good job of putting this ball right there.
I mean, you kidding me?
He knows where he's going to be. It's a little bit of a timing error because this is something he's got a little bit of time, but he's going to get hit pretty quick running that option pass. So he's just got to step back on his back foot and throw it up. 21-0 Millard North. And the quarterback, Morrison, we talked about, he can run the ball.
Yeah.
He's 6 for 7 right now passing the ball.
Well, that's the new added dimension of this offense. They are tough to handle. And I tell you, the 2 games we saw earlier, I thought the defensive backs did a really good job. David City Aquinas in particular, a great job of looking back for balls and playing them in the air. Right. It has not been on display tonight.
Aaron Gertis now 4 receptions for 60 yards. Here you see the numbers for Ethan Morrison, 6 of 7 for 104 and 2 touchdowns. And again, 60 of those 104 and 1 of the touchdowns to Aaron Gertis. They will kick it deep and into the end zone. No return for the Wildcats. And right now, Millard North on top of a shocked Millard West team, 21-0.
Well, I think we're all shocked, unless you go to school at Millard North. I don't even think these guys, could foresee a 21-0. I mean, we're on the verge of a beatdown.
Important drive here coming up for the Wildcats,
to say the least, because you've shown very little ability to slow Millard North down. Remember, one of their scores was called back due to a hold.
Nebraska rolls to his right. Throws it out there. Janke incomplete. They'll say it hit the turf. Cody Janke tried to pull it in.
Andrew Jaska not having one of his better nights throwing the football. Just been off the mark.
He's got a couple completions on the night. He's now 2 for 7. Coming in the game, completing nearly 60% of his passes. He can get it going if he needs to. They have not been in this position all year, and that's one of the things. Sometimes you get to these state championship games and your team is in a position where you got to come back, or you just don't quite know how to adjust. And it's unfamiliar territory for Millard West.
Now out of the eye. Pulls it out. It will be kept by Andrew Jaska. Leans forward, not much there. We bring up 3rd down and long, and just the Wildcats have not been able to get anything going offensively.
No, they've moved it kind of, from the 30s to the 30-ish, but just, not very good come closing time.
You can even see the frustration there on Andrew Jaska's face.
If you'd asked me to kind of cap this game going in, I'd have thought maybe Millard West by 7 to 10 points. I couldn't have been more wrong in terms of what I was thinking, seeing it on film.
On the reverse, the give to Wyatt. Wyatt turns it upfield.
That is one of the best plays you'll see by a defensive end on a reverse. 58 for Millard North, Joshua Reel. He does everything to fight off the block and keep contained on third down. And that was, if he doesn't make that play, that goes a long way for Millard West. They're just playing disciplined ball across the board.
Yeah, I'm color me impressed in terms of how sound they are with that gap integrity.
So here is Sandos now to kick it away. Dylan Price back to receive. Price will let it hit at the 45 and roll deep into Mustang territory down to the 28-yard line. And we asked you earlier a trivia question for Class A. We've got a winner for our trivia question, and I think Damon Benning might know the answer to this as well. Who holds the Nebraska School Activities Association record for most career rushing yards in Class A? Damon?
I'm going to go with Calvin Strong.
There you go.
Omaha North.
Calvin Strong. From 2011 to 14, 7,478 total yards for Calvin Strong. You know who else do that? Jeff Paulison of Bennington, Nebraska. Congratulations, Jeff. We'll be sending you a t-shirt.
I think I saw 74, 78 of those yards.
Let's go down to the field to Sean Callahan.
Guys, when the playoff brackets came out, everybody knew that Bellevue West and Millard West are going to be the 1 and the 2 seed. It was pretty cut and dry, but I think the most intriguing thing everyone was waiting for was what side of the bracket Millard North was going to be on. Would they be on that Bellevue West side or that Millard West side? And obviously they got through Bellevue West to the semifinals, and you just didn't want to be on the side of the bracket with the Mustangs, and they're showing that here tonight. That Fred Petito is not a coach you want to play in a game in late November, because he's just been here so many times in his career, and just the way his team has played, how calm they've been, how they've handled the moment. It's been very impressive down here on the sidelines.
Yeah, you know who's got to be kicking themselves is Bellevue West.
Right.
I mean, they had a couple of opportunities to win that game and even put it away earlier. You know, they had a 2-score lead, and Millard North just hung in there, and then
sent it to overtime.
Yep. And anything can happen in a game like that. It was one of the better high school football games you'll see in terms of excitement and back and forth and back and forth. And it appears to be the best game was played in the semifinals.
Snap mishandled there, and you saw Ritterbusch, the center, and Morrison talking it over. Straighten that out. There's Kellogg, who slips through 1 tackle but can't slip through 3 and 4. Play made by Blake Minden with the help of 3 or 4 others. Rosika was there as well.
I tell you, this game is not for the faint of heart if you're playing in the trenches. There are bodies flying everywhere. These linemen on both sides are getting after it here.
Yeah, you take a look at number 77 for Millard West, Riley Williams. He goes 6'1", 305. So if there's bodies flying, he's responsible for some of it.
Yeah, he's got an anchor down here in the middle.
3rd down and long for the Mustangs. Kept by Morrison. Slips 1 tackle and a 2nd. Won't get through a 3rd and a 4th, though, as Wilkins supports one more time. Bummer's there to help clean up.
If you're Millard West, do you believe, can you generate 3 unanswered scores in 13 minutes?
I mean,
that's really what it's kind of, that's right. In essence, that's what it's about.
This is a team that's averaging 40 points a game on the year. And I think what it is this running game. Millard North has done a great job of stopping Millard West's running game. These guys come in, the quarterback, you look at
time of possession is now a factor too. Millard North has had the football an awful long time.
Matt Reed back there to punt it away. Preston Humphrey deep
Gotta
to
be careful with Preston.
Line shot right at him. He might have some room here. There goes Preston, look out. Spins, dropped down at the 40, but a terrific return by Preston Humphrey.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got the low line drive. That was the worst possible scenario. There's some laundry on the field.
Far sideline.
Yeah, it's in front of the Millard North bench. There's a meeting of the minds.
Millard North coaches are pointing like they're going to move him back here. Could be a hold on the gunner.
Or maybe running out of bounds.
It's a line drive kick. It's hard to get a flag out of your pocket on that.
Holding called against the Mustangs.
It might have been on that gunner side, the top of the screen there.
They're discussing the placement of the thrown flag here. So let's hear from Randy Schnackenberg.
Holding during the kick, 10-yard penalty in the post-scrimmage spot.
So one thing I want to ask you, David, is what is Millard North doing to stop this running attack from Millard West? I guess we take a quick look at the holding over here.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, I think that might have been right in the middle of the field. On number 32.
Millard West has had some controllable mistakes.
Yeah.
At the wrong time.
I think the big thing for Millard North defensively, number one, they've tackled well. But the real key has come from being gap sound. And when I say gap sound, I mean they've got somebody on dive, someone on cue, someone on pitch. They've given very few running lanes. They haven't fallen asleep on trap. They have been real sound and real physical at the point of attack with that D-line.
So back out the Millard West offense after the penalty backs them well into their own territory after possibly having it at the 40, and another one of those small mistakes that can make such a big difference. It looked like down by 21, you get a short field, a chance to strike quickly here before the end of the quarter, and now you find yourself back about 40 yards from where you thought you might be.
That's a 6-yard carry for Nebraska, and the one thing that, you know, to show you statistically coming in this game, Nebraska averaging 7 yards a carry. Lallman 7 yards a carry, Sandler 7 yards. Right now, they're all averaging less than 4 yards a carry, and that's just not going to get it done. He had a hole there, didn't he?
He did have a crease. That's a great tackle by Begley. If he doesn't get it, no one will.
A little bit of shoelace right there.
I like the game he's played. You watch him on film, he's a good player. I think he's the best player in their secondary. Like I said, he plays the deep hole. He can go hash to hash. He fits in the run game like you just saw there.
So Logan Nebraska back out there after the first down and 10. Number 38 under pressure, looks downfield, floats it out there, has a man just off the fingertips and incomplete, looking for his back, Lallman.
Just uncharacteristic things going on tonight. It has not been the Wildcats' night, and a lot of that has to do with the sound play of Millard North's defense, but they got to make plays like this. That's two easy pass plays that they should have scored on.
2 touchdowns, right?
And that's a well-designed play. That is a designed wheel route. Lallman
off the boot action.
Right off the fingertips. And different conditions. Looking at throwing the ball, Memorial Stadium, maybe it's traveling a little different, but they've been off by just a couple of feet, couple of inches.
I think a lot of it has to do with the bright lights of the state finals.
Last play of the third quarter, Nebraska spins out of one tackle, and then he's dropped on a hard hit. And that will do it for the end of the third. Millard North adds to that lead. They're now on top, 21-0, 12 minutes to go in the Class A state final.
For me, asking why is just getting started.
It's more than an activity. It's me doing what I love.
I'm not a stereotype. When I rewrite the rules, things get better.
I know that all these experiences matter.
These moments will help me become something more.
Little things always lead to something bigger.
Do it.
Track it.
Earn it.
What you're doing now will help you get scholarships later. Find resources from Education Quest at trackyoursuccess.org.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
That's where we are. It's Millard North on top, 21-0 as we head to the fourth quarter here in the state championship. And Millard West will have the ball. They're driving here to start this fourth quarter. Third down, and it'll be 4, an important third down upcoming. And you can just guess that if they don't get it on third, they would go for it here in this situation. Well, maybe not on your own 40-yard line.
Well, I think it's 4 downs right now. I mean, if you're interested in having a chance to win this game, understand you have 2 downs to make 6 yards.
3 receivers to the right. Jockey in the backfield. Incomplete. Did not connect with Shea Wyatt.
Yeah, they both have their arms out shrugging as though he was being held coming out of the break.
Maybe
I don't think they're going to make that call.
A little off on timing. I mean, that is a timing route that's designed out, get 7 yards, turn out, and make the catch. See Peterson noticeably.
Russell bringing in a play. They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
Yeah. This is the ball game for all intents and purposes.
4th down and 6. Nebraska rolls to his right, fires out there too high, incomplete, turns it over on downs. How about this Mustang defense?
Pitching a shutout for 3 quarters.
Nebraska gets real deep on this throw. This is another timing route, but the coverage is great. This is solid coverage from Millard North. And
blanket.
Yeah, that's Price. The price is
right.
That's too easy.
Millard West, 164 total yards.
I mean, just say that out loud. That's a wow moment for a team averaging 40-some-odd points a game.
Matthew steps through a tackle. Won't get anywhere. Gave the secondary plenty of time to react.
Are you kidding me?
You know, I would.
Well, he not only looks like Thor in real life, he was thinking about dropping the hammer.
That's right.
I would not. The only time I would step up to Jake Matthew is if I was wearing a helmet, shoulder pads, knee pads, thigh pads. Maybe even.
You should stand next to him in real life. He's a big kid.
Loss of 1 in the play, 2nd down and 11. Morrison will keep. Morrison tripped up. Nice job defensively by the defensive end, Zach Sorich.
Zach Sorich is a standout guy on the defensive end side. I mean, he's had 50 tackles on the year, 5 sacks. He's in the backfield a lot and just gets enough of Morrison. He had to. We haven't called his name much tonight, but he's playing his role and finally got a chance to make the tackle.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. We have a hard time handling him. He's a good football player.
Down to the field with Sean Callahan.
Too.
Guys, you talk about Jacob Matthew and just what kind of player he is. I think what hurt him at the high Division I level is people didn't know where to put him. I think truly his best position is fullback. The problem is a lot of Division I programs don't offer programs. It's more a walk-on position. There was even a point where Michigan and Jim Harbaugh made some contact with Jacob Matthew because they liked his film, but he was never able to get that big offer because I think a lot of people didn't know where he fit best at that next level. But as far as FCS recruits go, Jacob Matthew was as high as it gets. He had North Dakota State, Illinois State, South Dakota State, and that's the who's who of FCS offers. But he just never, for whatever reason, was able to get that big offer up at that Big 10 or Big 12 level.
You see the defensive play here by Ruzicka, Nate Ruzicka. That's a good defensive stand there for the Wildcats, 3 and out.
They're going to need a few 3 and outs to get this game going. And the defense is stepping up big. And this is what happens late in these games. They have this platoon, right? These guys don't play offense and defense, so they got a little energy and need something like that to happen.
Off the side of the foot.
Yeah, you know what that's called, right, LP? That's the Humphrey factor. That's not wanting to kick to Preston Humphrey.
Got it.
The Humphrey factor.
The Humphrey factor. You
Good
see
return
Coach Chavez right there said, "You're all right. You're all right."
Let's go Millard West.
Yep, 9:33 for 3 scores and 3 conversions.
Yeah, real quickly, what happens when the brain, or to the brain during a concussion is a medical mystery. Well, NET Sports examines head injuries and UNL's advanced brain research in concussions heading for change. You can hear from athletes who've suffered and see what's being done to prevent them. Concussions heading for change can be seen online at netnebraska.org/concussions and on the NET Nebraska app. Look for it, something you certainly know about.
I may be a star in that feature. There are many features I would like to be a star in, not the concussions, but that is an Emmy award-winning documentary by the Gavin Felix, NET Nebraska.
Yep.
They do some great things, and that's a great story to be told.
$9:30 to go here.
Got the reference. The Gavin Felix.
9:33 to go. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Need a quick strike here. Try for it downfield. Great job on the grab out there. Down inside the 5-yard line, and the catch by Wyatt.
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
He's that guy. Single coverage, bottom of the numbers, just one-on-one. It's a go route. He wins at the line of scrimmage, and it turns into a foot race, and who can play a ball in the air.
That's the play they've been looking for. Wyatt goes up and gets it.
It's actually got good coverage by Dylan Price.
Yeah, there's a little bit of laundry on the field.
Pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, I didn't see much there.
First down.
I watched that thing from about the 25 on. I mean, there's a little jockeying for it, but two guys being good football players, and Wyatt was the first one in the air. How many times have we seen that today, LP?
You saw the big sigh of relief from Kirk Peterson. Finally, maybe something can go our way. Need a quick score.
I think Andrew Jaska didn't know where he was going with that football.
Absolutely.
That look off was for show.
First down and goal. Andrew Jaska, the give to his running back Lallman, who's in there for the touchdown. And the Wildcats on the board.
Hey, if you're going to get this game back in order, you score in 18 seconds. 2 plays, and Millard West is in the end zone. They need to do it a couple more times, but you can feel the energy already. Millard West fans are right underneath the press box, and they're getting a little bit rowdy. It should be an interesting fourth quarter.
It starts with one stop at a time. I don't think you're ready for an onside kick yet. You'll kick it deep and try to get a 3 and out and see what happens.
Extra point is through there and good. 21-7. Millard West finally on the board. Not done yet. Just in the Wildcats.
Too good an offense. You see the good lead block. Wow, that's what we call that's ISO. You know why they call that ISO? Because it's isolation. It's fullback on Mike, mano-y-mano.
Cody Janke's a fullback there from Millard West, just clears it out, and he's taking on a big one, Jake Begley. We've talked about him already. I mean, Jake's coming up, and
that's a safety. Fitting in the run game on the goal line. There's no sense in playing deep hole on the 4. He's coming to make hay.
But Janke takes care of him. I dig this. Check out this lead block. I mean, that was going to go for as long as he wanted to run.
Yeah, that's why I like Begley, though. Not afraid to get his face dirty.
No, I'll tell you what, I like seeing a safety that does that. But I like seeing Millard West get some energy. You know, this is a team that everyone tuning in knows can play the game. Now, we got to hope they got
an offense to be playing like they played tonight. I just inexplicably, you know, the play coming off the fake jailbreak and go, you know, Wyatt coming out of the break, kind of sauntering around. They missed that pass. You know, Lallman with the drop. Now, Millard North defensively in the run game is not giving them an inch. I mean, up to this point, Millard North still winning on both sides of the line, offensively and defensively. I think that's been the difference in the game. Because for every, you know, drop or potential play Millard West didn't make, you know, Millard West still has the play that was called back with the hold on the touchdown.
So here's Jacob Wolf to kick it deep. And back deep are Price and Moyer for Millard North. That'll come down at about the 5-yard line. Here's Dylan Price. Slips between 2 defenders out past the 20 to about the 23-yard line on the return for Dylan Price. It has been an effective ground game for these Millard North Mustangs. They came in 10-2. A lot of people talked about the diversified offense and how they're going to the air a bit more, but they have done some damage on the ground here tonight. 179 rushing yards. And the strength of quarterback Ethan Morrison. There's Jake Matthew with the big carry. An effective ground game, and we're going to see more of it right here with Matthew.
They've been able to get Adrian Kellogg going, too.
Kellogg with 6 carries for 69 yards. He's averaging 11 per tote.
There's a little woofing going on here now. This one's for all the marbles. Neighborhood schools. Well, the neighborhood separated by Pacific Center.
About it, though.
That's 6 miles.
And Q.
That's my daily jog right there, Damon. Between Millards.
A toss out to Kellogg on 2nd down and 7.
Better job of stringing it out. Millard West lobbying for a holding call out there on the edge, but
you saw Kellogg trying to stay inbounds, not going out, keeps that clock running.
Look at Wine at the point of attack, just running his feet, hands in still.
Nathan Rizika does a good job of stringing that out well. I mean, he's got little hat hands. He's got his hands extended, and he throws them and gets on Kellogg to make the tackle. 3rd and 2, really, really big for Millard West defense. They need to stop here.
4 of 9 on 3rd downs is Millard North. 3rd and 2. The toss, looking to throw it, looking downfield, and he's keeps on his feet, pushing toward that first down, but Ryan will not quite get there. That'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, how about that play call? Up 14 in the 4th on 3rd and 3.
Pass option. That is.
Boy, Wine was going to deliver it. He's left-handed, so this works. He looked like a quarterback. He might have taken some snaps as a kiddo. That's good coverage downfield. Millard West not falling asleep.
Warren punt.
Oh, he's going for the
down and short.
Trying to put the nail in the coffin.
Toss to Wine. Wine fumbles it. Wine going backwards. Wine pulled down inside the 10. Huge play.
Write that down right there.
Wow. Going for it on 4th and coming up short.
Not just short. 30 yards short.
An unbelievable sequence of plays right there. They shut down the toss. Wine doesn't handle the toss on 4th down. And now all of a sudden, see, you lengthen the game. You give Millard West the football inside the 10. They can score in the next minute. Then you're playing with a 1-score lead for 6 minutes. Unbelievable.
Wow. Well, here we go.
Uncle Mo is officially changing jerseys.
Inside the 10-yard line. Back out there is Anderjaska. And a flag on the play that will back up the Wildcats.
Boy, if he's got any gaskets left, he's got probably one to
Dead
blow.
ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
I would still say that even moving them back 5 yards, this is a renewed energy, right? That's something that they took away from Millard North, or it was given to them from Millard North. Whatever your perspective is, Millard West has an opportunity to capitalize. And
you got to open it. See if you can open the gift. Now they put it under the tree. Let's see if you can get that thing open.
They're sneaking down the stairs right here. Get a preview.
1st down and goal at the 14.
You got 4 downs to make 14 yards.
Anderjaska will keep, slips through 1 tackle, still on his feet inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. Good gain on 1st down for Anderjaska. 2nd and goal now from the 7.
Well, he's pretty sturdy for that thin frame.
He is. He takes some hits. I mean,
he does.
And you're thinking Turman sitting there and saying, "I got a great quarterback."
Actually, you know what I think Seth Turman is thinking? He's thinking it's go time. Put the ball in the hands of my best player.
Give it the backfield. Lowman down to about the 5. Bring up 3rd down and goal from the 5.
You see an offensive lineman, Elijah Zuha.
Yeah, him and Doppler are going at it.
They are getting after it, and that's what you want to see at this position. The one difference is the guys from Millard West, they don't play defense. Yep. They got energy, and they're going to bring it. Zuha, a big guy, 6'3", 270. Senior bringing it for the team.
Watch Lawman out here isolated.
In motion goes Wyatt. They give it to Wyatt. Inside the 5, down to the 3. Big 4th down coming up, needless to say. 6:22 to go. 4th down and goal.
That's a great job by the defensive end. I think that was Brody Buck, 9 for Millard North, just sealing the edge, because Wyatt, he's got a couple carries in the year, 9 rushes. That's his 10th, 4 touchdowns. So they like that play in the red zone.
Yeah, Coach Peterson wants a timeout. This is one where whatever your best play is right now, this is the one you go to. Whatever your go-to is. Weak side option is good. Trap for them has been good. When you run trap, at least all season, it hasn't been good tonight. But you got to go to old reliable. This is where, as an offensive coordinator, you'd like to look into the eyes of your guys, but you're from the booth, so you're talking to, your next best offensive assistant. He's relaying the information verbatim. And as a Millard West Wildcat in that huddle, it's do or die.
Well, good opportunity for you right now to purchase a DVD copy of the NSAA High School Championships. You can get a copy of this Class A game between Millard North and Millard West by calling 800-868-1868, just $19.95 plus shipping and handling, or you can go online and visit us at netnebraska.org.
All right, Damon, get your fortune teller out, get your 8-ball. You going air or ground?
Well, they're going to go sprint out. But we'll see to which side.
Here it is, 4th and goal. Looks to the end zone. Cross, touchdown!
Great play.
Found his guy, Humphrey with the touchdown.
How about that on the throwback? Brilliant play call, and watch the deception. Humphrey goes from right to left and slips underneath.
That's why you call timeout in that play.
Yep.
And you know, Peterson said, you guys know what we're doing.
We saw that formation. Watch Humphrey, he's at the top of the screen. It's just a drag route, it's man-to-man. He gets rubbed. One defender runs into another, and he shakes free.
Sandos in for the extra point, knocks it right between the uprights. And they are now down by 7, 14 unanswered points and new life along this Millard West sideline.
You know, I don't know if you draw it up that way, but Preston Humphrey runs his defender into another defender. You see, Tate Moyer is going to run into Kellogg, which actually opens him up.
And the thing is Kellogg, they should actually banjo that call. Kellogg should take Humphrey and let the other DB playing the trail technique take the crosser, right? Just take who comes to you. Instead, you play so much man-to-man, you're going to get that. There's no question Millard West knows Millard North's playing man-to-man.
Go down to the field to Sean Callahan.
And guys, standing here by the Millard North sidelines, the coaching staff was making this symbol to the players. They're going to run crossing routes, so they were ready. They knew that was the look, that was the play Millard North was probably, or Millard West is probably going to go with. But it's just a hard play to stop. Just the way Millard North plays that man-to-man defense, it's really, really hard unless you switch that up there.
I don't think it's any coincidence that Andrew Daskell throws his best ball under crunch time. It's, you know, I mean, he sells it, throws it backside in the place that only his guy can catch it.
6 minutes to go. Kick deep. Right at the goal line.
Look at
Out
this.
comes Price. Nothing there. Look at this Wildcat bench.
They are doing everything they need to do to turn this game around.
I still want to go back to the 4th and 1 call.
Well, you have to. That's been the key.
Inside their own 20.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I would even go to the 3rd and 1 call when you go the run pass toss option. That's a. But if you know anything about Millard North, they can methodically move the ball down the field. But Millard West in the 4th quarter has played a completely different ball game.
We'll get to a point here in a second on coverage.
From their own 9-yard line, here's Morrison. He'll hand it to Matthew.
It's a good game on 1st down. We saw this with the wheel concept against SCOTUS this morning. What Norfolk Catholic wanted to do. We saw the pick plays that Oakland Craig wanted to do. The difference in playing, like that, when I talk about that banjo coverage, when you're getting man-to-man and you get a crossing route, pass the coverage off to the next guy.
Right.
It's if you're inside, you take the inside guy. If I'm outside, I take the outside guy. That way, you can't rub me off the route.
Matthew again.
It's a big 3rd down right here. 3rd and 3. Do you want to give the ball back to Millard West offense right now? The field appears to be slanted. Now, we thought Millard North was playing downhill. Now, all of a sudden, Uncle Mo, we know he changed jerseys. He's now wearing white and green.
This is interesting. The one thing, Millard North is a discipline. They run this option game. The one thing you can't do is try and get a little cue on the option.
This is midline.
Get a little bobble. They've had a couple of those already today.
That's going to come to us at the bottom of the screen. He's coming right. He goes left with the sprint out. Outstanding play call right there.
1st down.
The one play that nobody thought they were going to do, that's Tom's.
Tristan Toms, that's his 7th catch on the year.
And tell you what, he's a good enough player to get more targets. Undervalued in this offense, does a lot of the dirty work.
That's the one, yeah, you didn't expect that in that position.
No, not especially to Tom's.
Oh, you also run the risk of stopping the clock.
Yeah. That's the call.
4:27 to go. Flag on the play.
They're going to get another illegal formation or shift. They come forward at the snap of the ball. Millard North is notorious for timing it when they get that rocket motion. They were a little early on this one. Yep.
Illegal shift on the offense.
You know, if you watch them, their cadence and their tendency, those wings are moving at the snap. We used to cry for that call for years.
Well, they're
but they time it so well. I mean, it's pretty subjective. I mean, because it looks as though they're moving at the snap. They do it as well as anybody.
Backs him up 5 yards, makes it 2nd down and 10 now. Morrison keeps, breaks the tackle.
Boy,
not much there.
I feel like I'm watching a completely different game. That is right. That's Carter Wilkin. We've said his name enough tonight. He is going to earn the medal, whatever color it is.
Look at him just fit in the run game. That's an outstanding job by Wine. You know, he pinned him inside, but
Zach went.
Yep.
Just good team defense right now.
Another big 3rd down here.
What do you do here? I think you keep the ball on the ground.
I think there's, look at the spread. I mean, this is a different look, Millard North.
Morrison out to Kellogg. Kellogg busts the tackle. 1st down for Kellogg. Big play. For Adrian Kellogg.
Kellogg ate his Wheaties.
I didn't want to give the play away via the formation, but this is their go-to right there.
Just enough by Wine on the block.
Oh, that's your guy.
Hey, you know, it's everybody's guy right now. This is 2 great players going up against each other.
That's a lateral.
Yeah, it is. That's another risk, man. But this is a different look Millard North team that wasn't in the playbook 5 years ago, but it's coming up big on these 3rd downs. They've gone to the pass when they need it, and they've gotten it. Kellogg is the target of the night.
Now Millard West with 2 timeouts has to start thinking about the clock as we're inside 3 minutes. 1st down and 10. Morrison keeps. He's got room. Morrison, great gain on 1st down. Will bring up a 2nd down and short.
Now, right now, if you're Millard North, you're thinking take care of the football. You need 1 1st down. Millard West only has 2 timeouts.
Yeah,
that is so tough.
You're gonna keep it for the quarterback.
He's going to get in that first. He's going to get in that first crease that he's seen. He cuts that thing up as well as anybody. It's been a staple of Millard North's offense.
2nd down and 1. Morrison will let that clock tick down, eating as much clock as he can.
Tick, 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 tick.
Morrison again, right up the middle, 1st down.
That's his own number. He called it. You're not covering the guards. You got 2 yards to make. I've seen that movie quite a bit.
Timeout called. The Wildcats will use one of their 2 timeouts with a 21-14 lead for Millard North. So I want to check some of the viewer mail that we received. We ask you to send us some comments on our coverage of this Class A State High School Championship game. Raheem says, great commentary, makes it feel like a real college or NFL game. You guys keep me interested in the game, so great job, Blake and Damon. I had that last part.
Did you? Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. Always throwing me a bone.
Michael Andrews says coverage has been the best this year that it's ever been. I look forward to your coverage of the finals every year. Keep it up. Thanks very much, Michael. We appreciate your comments. Ron Wynn says he's a prep grad. 16, love all the angles your cameras are showing for the plays. Very cool, very nice. I like it. We appreciate your comments and encourage you to send us your comments at sports@netnebraska.org.
Now, I'm doing work for NET, and I've done it for, 8, 9 years, and I'm impressed with the camera angles. The views these guys are getting.
We had the best crew in the business. They've been out here for 2 straight days, and we won't be done when this is over. They're going to tear all these cameras down and move over to the Bob Devaney Sports Center and set it up for tomorrow night. A hard few days' work for these guys. They do a terrific job. So 1st down and 10. Keep again. And he's drugged down from behind. Good play by Zach Sorich. Sorich on the tackle and the quick timeout. 1:58 to go, so important. If plays coming up, that was the last timeout for the Millard West.
All right, you got 2 plays with a 25-second play clock, assuming they spot it relatively quickly. That fourth down won't happen until under a minute.
Right at a minute, yep.
If they get a first down,
yeah, that's all she wrote.
Yep.
And start polishing the trophy.
Millard North's 8th appearance here in the finals since 2002. They won the championship just a few years ago in 2012 and trying to do it again here in 2015.
Hey, who those guys beat in 2012?
Sure, who was that? That was a tough one for you.
That was a Cole Fisher game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard on my conscience.
That would have been Clay Fisher.
Yeah, well, I believe it's at South Dakota.
Second down and 9. Toss to Kellogg. Kellogg out of the edge looking for room. He'll be stacked up out there. Leading the way is Zach Went.
Right, let's see when they wind the clock.
Get that ball spotted.
Derek hits there as well as the clock ticks down inside 1:45. Third down upcoming. Third down, and we'll call it 7 to go.
All right, a minute 10 will be fourth down.
3rd and 7. I think you got to give it to Kellogg. Give it to Matthew. This is what's interesting. Millard North's got options.
Okay? I think Ethan Morrison keeps this ball.
3rd and 7 goes to the air.
Really?
Big play on the catch by Gertis. Not afraid.
Oh, Coach Petito, Coach Cotton.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Oh, my goodness. Risk it to get the biscuit.
That'll bring up 4th down.
Look at this.
That is
again close to being a lateral.
Clock continues to tick away. 15 off. It'll be about at 35 seconds when it looks like Millard North will call the timeout.
Gertis said, "Don't worry, I got this." Yeah, 36 seconds. 38 seconds. 30 seconds.
And there is the timeout. 35 seconds left in the game. Millard North will punt it away. Wildcats will have one last chance with no timeouts on the clock.
For you kids at home watching, no, Coach Petito doesn't have his hat cocked to the side. It's just his headphones. He gives it that appearance.
Oh, he's just trying to relate.
Yeah.
Petito, he's been here.
2015 Coach Petito.
He's been here.
Hip to the game.
He was whipping and nay-naying earlier. Did you see him do that?
Yeah, I think he thinks those might be people's names. He just got a cell phone a year ago.
Go down to the field, try to straighten us out. Sean Callahan.
David, my question to you would be, how do you handle this if you're Millard North? We know how aggressive they are with their man-to-man coverage and very little safety help. How do you approach this drive, kind of knowing what Millard North is right now?
I tell you what, they're going to heat them up, Sean. I think they're going to do what they do and take their chances. They aren't going to sit back and play passive. They'll be aggressive.
So back deep is Preston Humphrey, who would love an opportunity here. Aaron Gertis in there to punt it away. Gertis high into the air, angled away and out of bounds. And so the Wildcats will have the ball with 30 seconds to go at the 19-yard line.
All right, here we go. 30 seconds, no timeouts.
Here's a look at the offensive possessions for Millard West, the first 8.
Now, if it was Columbus Scotus, they'd pull it off.
Right.
Last
2.
What'd they go, 80 for 80 and 28 seconds?
3 plays.
Man-to-man coverage.
30 seconds to go. No timeout. Have to be looking for the sideline. Back to throw. Andrew Jaskett.
Oh, he's
got him open. Wide open. Pulled in. Inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. What a grab.
And
the fullback leaks. Oh, my goodness.
They are going against the 2 best defenders on Millard North. You got Begley, the safety. You got Kellogg on coverage back at the safety
where he comes
position.
from.
And he just scoots by him, no hands on. And that is a great play. 8 seconds, you got 35 yards.
And they will clock it. Stops the clock at 20 seconds to go. Ball.
Are you kidding me?
39. What a play.
goodness gracious.
Millard West down by 7. Trying to march this 81 yards for the score to tie it.
You're leaking fullbacks out of the backfield.
2-by-2 set. Mano y mano. Single high safety.
Janke in the backfield, providing block, going downfield. Flag on the play.
Oh, man. That's incidental contact, too. I don't know about that one.
You also got another flag on the top side here, so you might have a offsetting penalties here, which would...
That's incidental contact right there. I don't know if you can make that call. It'd be fitting if they were offsetting if you're a Millard North fan, because you probably don't feel that's PI. If you're Shea White, you're saying, hey, you can't impede my progress.
And Price is a great defender out there on the edge. I think that they're getting their eyes up in the sky. They know it's coming. Wyatt has been the guy. They've got a lot of guys, though. You saw some highlight catches from Humphrey, Wyatt, and then old Samler in the last fullback out of the backfield.
Taking a long time to sort this one out.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty.
What was the flag at the top of the
first down
in front of Millard North's bench?
That's what Fred Petito's asking the same thing. What was this flag?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. You take a look at Price. See that? That's the rub route, not a rub route, but that's why I say banjo. If you're Price, stay inside. Let Toms take the outside receiver as he comes to him. Don't cross.
So now with 14 seconds to go, ball's at the 24. You've got a few opportunities now to go to the end zone, down by 7, looking to tie it up.
Coach Petito is running the risk of getting a penalty here.
Big 15-yard penalty there. Under pressure, steps up, throws it into the end zone, crossing incomplete.
Interesting.
Had his man there. Wyatt was there.
And you'd have one time after the spike, because the clock would stop.
Yep.
9 seconds to go. If they run a quick one, 2 chances to get to the end zone.
I tell you, Millard West, they haven't had to pass the ball to get back in the game often this year. They've got some go-to plays. I think they might have used them already. This is going to be an interesting last couple if they can get 2.
Mano y mano, top of the numbers. Can he win?
Andrew Jaska looks to the end zone, throws it up there. Had a man out there just over the head. 4 seconds to go. One more play. One more chance for the Wildcats to tie this and send it into overtime.
For as sleepy as this game was for 3 quarters.
Right.
We've got this is like an all-you-can-eat buffet right here.
I'll tell you, get your cobbler out.
Come eat.
So the 3 men in the route will be Wyatt, Lullman, and Humphrey.
We'll let the crowd tell you what happens. One of these sides is going to erupt.
All the marbles.
Here it is, 4 seconds.
They finally give the too-high look.
One last play. Here we go. Andrew Jaska in the shotgun.
Gonna give him time, only rushing 3.
Throws it in the end zone. It's caught, but short. Fumble. Millard North recovers, and Millard North wins the state championship.
It's a heck of a feeling right here. Rush 3 if you're Millard North. If you're Andrew Jaska, you've got to understand, I've got to get that ball in the end zone.
He went to his guy. Still some pressure on him at Millard North. And
that's a heck of a job by Dylan Price. He's been good all night.
I'm not sure if Wyatt wanted to drop that ball.
Price stripped him, yeah.
That's
Dylan Price, it was right tonight. He played his rear end off.
It was. In Millard West, they came back. If this game would have had 10 more seconds, might be different. But Millard North owned the game.
That's why you play 48 minutes here.
That's right.
That's why you do it.
Well, we saved the best championship for last, didn't we? What a finish in the Class A final. The Wildcats comeback comes up that short. 21-14 the final.
When you're looking for Nebraska's stars of tomorrow, start with the young Nebraskans in 4-H and FFA. Over the past 3 years, Constellation has contributed more than $78,000 to 4-H and FFA in the 60 Nebraska counties we serve. Constellation provides natural gas for Nebraska homes, farms, ranches, and businesses. By supporting 4-H and FFA, we're providing energy for Nebraska's stars of tomorrow as well. Natural gas from Constellation.
Head trauma and concussion risk minimization is a priority of the NSAA. When in doubt, sit them out.
Some common symptoms of concussions are dizziness, confusion, and nausea.
The NSAA requires coaches in all sports to take a concussion course annually.
For more information regarding concussion management and return to play protocol, visit our website, nsaahome.org. When in doubt, sit them out.
Over the years, the Nebraska Chiropractic Physicians Association has supported many Nebraska athletes by helping them excel physically. But the mental game is just as important. That's why we're pleased to sponsor the NSAA Academic All-State Award Program, recognizing students and athletes who shine in the classroom and as leaders. We're proud to team up with these exceptional individuals. Together we can continue to make Nebraska a great place to live, learn, and play.
Coverage of the 2015 NSAA High School Football Championships on NET is made possible in part by the Nebraska Soybean Board, the Nebraska Public Power District, Education Quest, the Nebraska Tourism Commission, the Aurora Cooperative, and by Constellation. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. What a finish at the Class A state championship. Millard North hangs on and knocks off #1 and unbeaten Millard West for the state title. 21-14 the final, and you can purchase a DVD copy of this NSAA state championship game, $19.95 plus shipping and handling. To order, just call 800-868-1868 or visit netnebraska.org. Time for medal and trophy presentations. We'll start with the runners-up from Millard West, and for that, we go to Rich Broderson.
The Nebraska School Activities Association is honored to have medals and trophies for both of these outstanding teams. The award presentations will be made by NSAA Executive Director Dr. Jim Tinniper, NSAA Board of Director Nolan Byer from Millard Public Schools, and U.S. Bank Representative Alyssa Chandler. Here are the awards for Class A runner-up Millard West High School. Well, head coach Kirk Peterson and your assistants, please present the silver medals to the members of your team. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. #1, Jacob Wolf. #2, Cameron Vasquez. #3, Tommy Ho. #4, Zachary Sorich. #5, Charles Berzitsky. #6, Conrad Sandoz. #7, Preston Humphrey. #8, Derek Hitz. #9, Carter Wilkin. #10, Logan Anderjeska. #11, Luke Lallman. #12, Zachary Lanham. #13, Shay Wyatt. Number 14, Christopher Russell. Number 15, Sammy Scharf. Number 16, Brendan Tauber. Number 17, Daud Rezai. Number 18, Tyler Bandera. Number 19, Giovanni Guido. Number 20, Joshua Wallace. Number 21, Hunter Stock. Number 22, Parker Dornbyer. Number 23, DJ Manton Jackson. Number 24, Dawson Samler. Number 25, Benjamin Holman. Number 26, Brody Belt. Number 27, Cody Jenke. Number 28, Jacob Richardson. Number 29, Cade Cutler. Number 30, Mitchell Foreman. Number 31, Joshua Lasaskis. Number 32, Quinn Brummer. Number 33, Dylan Knudsen. Number 34, Nathan Razika. Number 35, Corbin Cundiff. Number 36, A.J. Johnson. Number 37, Matthew Sorich. Number 38, Joshua Main. Number 40, Blake Minden. Number 41, Ryan Lasaskis. Number 43, Logan Want. Number 44, Garrett McGann. Number 45, Jacob Bucher. Number 46, Peyton Gregerud. Number 47, Matthew Haverd. Number 48, Colin Fuller. Number 50, Brandon Barish. Number 51, Zachary Went. Number 52, Devin Hike. Number 53, Jack Aniello. Number 54, Warren Punt. Number 55, Nate Watkins. Number 56, Alexander Dukart. Number 57, Benjamin Aniello. Number 58, Tanner Kalb. Number 59, Chase Kirkpatrick. Number 60, Nathan Phipps. Number 61, Jackson Gruber. Number 62, Matthew Danielson. Number 63, Andrew Haslika. Number 64, Jack Domandel. Number 65, Matthew Kostichka. Number 67, Jack Ward. Number 68, Jaden Cover. Number 69, Anthony Ciccanelli. Number 70, Elijah Zuhal. Number 71, Quentin Ragland. Number 72, R.J. Wade. Number 73, Jeffrey Kovar. Number 74, Christopher Schacht. Number 76, Zachary Stratus. Number 77, Riley Williams. Number 80, Riley Schinzel. Number 82, Connor Ekborg. Number 83, Austin Harris. Number 84, Hunter Snurley. Number 86, Brent Brown. Number 88, Evan Ruff. Number 89, Justin Summers. Number 90, Austin Steinball. Number 98, Justin Whitcomb. And number 99, Derek Bithell. And now, here is the 2015 Class A runner-up trophy. Congratulations, Millard West High School.
So congratulations once again to Millard West, your runner-up in Class A. Certainly a disappointing outcome right now, but what a terrific season. These guys put together 12-0 coming in here to Memorial Stadium to take on a team that they had beaten earlier this year rather soundly. And Millard North just came and was one touchdown better tonight. 21-14 was the final. Millard West finishes the year at 12-1 and the runner-up in Class A. Back to Rich Broderson now for the trophy and medal presentations for the state champs.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to the champion, Millard North High School. First head coach, Fred Petito. We have a special award for you. Now, Coach, would you and your assistants please present the gold medals to the members of your championship team? Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 1, Dylan Price. Number 2, Aaron Gurtis. Number 3, Jack Begley. Number 5, Colin Hatsaba. Number 6, Ken Spiker. Number 7, Drew Adair. Number 8, Kristen Toms. Number 9, Brody Buck. Number 10, Garrett Whitholm. Number 11, Andrew Wine. Number 12, Cade Elwood. Number 13, Ethan Morrison. Number 14, Chris Kevios. Number 15, Blake Lagasse. Number 16, Matt Reed. Number 17, Kat Gottlack. Number 18, Thomas Hapcho. Number 19, Anwar Khan. Number 20, Nick Everett. Number 21, Adrian Kellogg. Number 22, Noah Mick. Number 23, Ben King. Number 25, Tate Moyer. Number 27, Davion Jones. Number 29, Spencer Weber. Number 30, Nick Engel. Number 31, Xavier Rodriguez. Number 32, Cole Bender. Number 33, Jacob Matthew. Number 34, Derek Craig. Number 35, Sam Wenzel. Number 36, Ben Chalupka. Number 37, Tanner Magid. Number 38, Cameron Weimers. Number 39, Nick Evans. Number 40, Terrence Pedasso. Number 41, Jacob Morrow. Number 42, Jamison Officer Thurston. Number 44, Jared Irvine. Number 47, Josh Bailey. Number 52, Josh Rye. Number 53, Cole Story. Number 54, Ryan Salisbury. Number 55, Jackson Orcutt. Number 56, Cody Ritterbush. Number 57, Ethan Cromer. Number 58, Joshua Reel.
What's up, Mr. Kellogg?
Number 59, Brandon Hopkins. Number 60, Jack Holtz. Number 61, Preston Wellborn. Number 63, Kyle Temperley. Number 64, Christian Dvorak. Number 65, Dylan Dittman. Number 66, Daniel Jan. Number 67, Brandon Eastlack. Number 68, Justin Pedersen. Number 69, Gil Riak. Number 71, Mason Bogutz. Number 72, Ian McCauley. Number 73, Sam Flashner. Number 76, Ethan Butler. Number 77, PJ Williams. Number 79, Corey Casper. Number 80, Jake Lena. Number 84, Nolan Spiker. Number 87, Ben Gathorn. Number 90, Ashton Garland. Number 96, Joseph Rigatuso. And number 99, Brady Dobler. Now presenting the team champion game ball from Farmers Mutual Insurance, Vice President of Agencies Andy Kraus, your head coach, Fred Petito.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And now for these outstanding athletes and their school, here is the 2015 Class A State Football Championship Trophy.
So congratulations one more time to Millard North, your Class A state champs. Everybody wanting a piece of the trophy there. The 5th title for head coach Fred Petito. He's now 5-3 in state championships, and he's done it again. Pulled off a victory that a lot of folks thought was not possible.
I tell you, especially from where they started. And then you take a look at how hot Millard West was. I mean, they came into this game clearly looking like, and no disrespect to Bellevue West, they lost a squeaker and were head and shoulders above the rest of the state in Class A this year in football. But Millard West was on a roll. They ran into a buzzsaw tonight, and that buzzsaw was the Millard North Mustangs.
Well, time now to hear from the champs. Let's go down to the field to Sean Kelly.
With the victorious head coach Fred Petito, your 5th state championship at Millard North. What makes this one special when you look at this group of players?
Well, this is a pretty special group of players. They're so giving. They're very unselfish, and they don't ask why. They just how are we going to get this done? Okay, work. Time's no object with them. And they're, like I said, they're just very determined. They're just a bunch of guys that great character guys. They win with dignity, and they treat people with respect, and that's what I'll remember about them. And I kind of miss some of them already.
That 4th quarter, you had to make it a little interesting there. As a coach that's been through a lot of 4th quarters, how did that one go? And just talk about how your defense held up.
Well, we always say, forget the last play, play the next play. And so it showed that they are resilient. They don't worry about what happened before. They look straight ahead, and that's what they did today. They they kept their poise, and when maybe some of the others would have lost it.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Let's bring in some of your victorious players here. Let's go Ethan Morrison and Jacob Matthew with the victorious quarterback here from Millard North. Ethan Morrison, what's it mean to finish this out? You guys lost early on to Millard West and Bellevue West. You avenged both those losses here in the playoffs.
You know, we've had a lot of sayings in Millard North, like strive for 5. We always play for 13 games, and that's what we ultimately did, so couldn't be happier. Great program, great players.
Talk about just how you guys came out of the gates, just the way you jumped on Millard West. That was really pressure they haven't been put under all season.
First game, it was not the best for us. I mean, 41-7. It left a really bad taste in our mouth, and we were so hungry to come out as early as we can, and that's what we did.
Congratulations, Ethan. Let's bring in Jacob Matthews now, the victorious fullback here from Millard North. What does this mean to you to go out as a senior to get this state championship?
I mean, it means the world to me. I mean, all of us since freshman year have been talking about, oh, when we're seniors, we're going to go to the state champion. We're going to go down to Lincoln, and we're going to win it. And, I mean, the fact that it's here, it finally happened, and we did it, it's just such a sense of fulfillment, and we're just ecstatic right now. You know?
This is Coach Petito's 5th title. What does he mean just to your program, your players, the culture he's built, just the way he's developed all you guys?
Coach Petito is the program, and he's going to kill me for saying that because he's the most selfless guy I know. He's always talking about how it's about us, how it's about the players themselves. We win the games, but the man is amazing. I mean, he's proven time and time again that he is one of the most successful coaches, and he knows how to get the job done.
Well, Jacob, congratulations. We're looking forward to following your career now at South Dakota State.
Thank you very much.
That was Jacob Matthew. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thanks very much, Sean. Congratulations one more time to the state champs from Millard North, the Mustangs. And you heard the comments. Coach Petito, you've known him for a while, Damon?
Yeah, aside from Coach Huffman, probably my best friend in the Metro. Has taught me a lot, been a mentor. He's telling you the truth when he talks about treating people with respect and growing up to be men. Like, that's pretty much what he prides himself on, and that's what he's built his program on. He's a man that walks the walk when he talks the talk.
Coming into these state playoffs, you see what a team is made of, and you saw in the 4th quarter they bend, but they didn't break, and that's Millard North. The Mustangs have a prideful fan base, a great group of players. These seniors will be remembered forever, and they'll be back again next year if Petito's at the helm.
Yeah, they'll be loaded, and they avenged their 2 losses. Got Bell West, and they got Millard West tonight.
So congratulations one more time to the Mustangs, the Class A state champs. I want to remind everybody, coming up tomorrow night on NAT, the sports crew back at it again. Nebraska will host the Fighting Illini, and Husker Volleyball will have it for you on NAT Sports tomorrow night, 7 Central, right here on NAT. And then following the volleyball matchup, join us for a very special Big Red wrap-up. Normally on Tuesday evening, it'll be a preview of the Iowa Hawkeyes game coming up on Friday. That's tomorrow night, 9 Central, immediately following the volleyball game right here on NAT. That will do it for the NAT crew, for Damon Benning, for Blake Lawrence, for Sean Callahan, for our entire NAT sports production crew, who has done a phenomenal job these last 2 days, and they're back at it tomorrow with volleyball. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We've enjoyed bringing it to you. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. And now, once again, for the entire crew, we'll see you next time back here on NAT Sports.